Alrighty. There we go. Turn off monitor mode. So you guys can hear me a little better. We're not going to go for Tavarok straight away. I want to warm up a bit. We're going to go into SV. And Casa, howdy, how you doing? Inflame, sup, brother? Sup. How you doing, guys? Yeah, we're going to go... we got 5 free actions. We need Frosties, though. We need Frosties.
The dark times will pass.
They will pass. Don't think we're going to use Spyglass. We never use Charm. Stamina will keep. The major nature pots we'll put in the bank. Not the Hearthstone. That would be a disaster. 5/5, okay. Okay. Let's buy some frost grenades. Get a few bits and bobs. Gloves, belt, boots, trinket. Sweet. Arena gear will be available tomorrow because they said 17.8 will be the end of season 2. I'm not sure about that. I don't actually know. But if it is available tomorrow, you better believe. We're going to be getting that. I thought we'd have to wait for Black Temple, but if we can trade in our 4 pieces in the bank, bro, if we can trade these in for season 2 gear tomorrow, ooh, you know what we're going to do. We're going to fully enchant them. We're going to kit them out with all base Agi gems, delicate living rubies, and we're going to go at Tavarok again. But we're going at Tavarok again today. I mean, make no mistake. We're going at Tavarok again today, that's for sure. Highlander, Tavarok dies today, broski. I hope so. It'd be so sick, wouldn't it? So I need to fix my keyboard. 145. Frosty's at 145. Oh, we're buying them all. We're buying every one of them. Oh, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Not as good as it was when I bought my first 1000. I bought for 25 to 35 silver each. It was insane. Look at that. So good. How many did we buy? 49. Wait, let's just get another. At this price, let's just keep buying them. 49 and 32 is 81. That'll do. Free action potion. I mean, they're pricey, but whatever. We need them for Tavarok anyway. It's no question. We need them. We just gotta have them. And swim speed potions. Alright, nice. 3 at a very nice price. Let's get a few more. What else do we need? That's about it, I think, boys. I'm pumped. Let's kill that mudda. As people from Race the World First would say, I was here. Yes, bro. We do want to be the first. We do want to be the first to solo him. That would be baller. I think we can do it. I was doing more theory crafting today for trying to race the server first rogue if and when Wrath drops. But I realized there's not too much point in going all in and doing loads of research now. We'll wait till BlizzCon. We'll wait to see what's up with Classic Plus timeline before we go putting a load of time and energy into those shenanigans. $20. That's all right. Bags 40. Who has them? Rogue has 40 in his bags. I have 20 in the bag. All right, let's get a few more of these. We need them for Tav anyway. All right, let's go. Well, I'll check first thing tomorrow then. Season 3 coming out September 1st. Okay. Discounted S1 gear was available right at the end of last season, so I assume it'll be available after the weekly reset. Okay. I see. Thank you, bro. That is super exciting, actually. I mean, we always love getting new gear, right? And normally, like, if I'm not PvP and it's not I was going to get the PvP gear anyway, just to do some PvP next season, if I have time. But now that Tavarok's on the cards, the PvP set is actually a PvE set, and it's BIS for my gold farm, so for one part of the gold farm, so that's super exciting now. How much does a stack of adamantite on the auction house right now? Let me check. I should have scanned. I didn't scan. And I didn't check, so this might be outdated, but let's just go with NG, explosives, addies. It says 389, but I think that's old. It could be a lot less. You know what? Let's just log over. I'm gonna do a quick scan of the auction house because I always scan before I start farming so that the gold per hour is accurate, basically. So let's log over to the priest. Hi, bro. How you doing? Milaj, I'm doing well. Brother. I went to Yantai City today with 2 people from the school. Paid for my visa. I was on a 30-day visa. I needed to extend it into what's called an X2 visa over here in China. So we got the X2 submitted, and that will give me a visa until February 9th, which is beyond the amount of time I'm actually paid up for in the school. So we'll have a little bit of extra time to chill, which could be very nice. Let's do a full scan. Oh, a stack of adamantite. I see. I don't think I can search now, can I? When I'm scanning. I don't think so. Oh, finished processing. Jesus, it did them all. Holy, that's quick. Full stack is going to be, what's that? 17 gold, 34? Yeah. 33 gold. Yeah, Milaj, there you go. Milaj is on the ball here. Absolutely on the ball. Banger. I've seen people like preparing quests from TBC that they would immediately turn in once Wrath hits. Yeah, that's the BIS. That's the BIS in every expansion, though. every new launch, you stack 25 or whatever it is, 20 or 25 quests of the highest EXP that you can get. And then you hand them in. For Wrath, it's you can do the Shadow Moon quests, you could do Netherstorm quests as well, but mostly what people do is the Isle of Quel'Danis, the one above the Blood Elf place, up here. There's daily quests. I think there's 10 or 12 daily quests here, and they're obviously all the NPCs are really closely linked. So that's 100% you're going to be grouping those quests into your hand-ins. You get half a level out of it. You get to 70.5 with all the quests, basically. I did sell all my haste pots in Flames. I sold them all in like 4 days. 4 days, like the Big Short. We just like sell. And we didn't lose too much money. I never sell my gold vermilion. No, I've never sold or bought gold in this game. And I'd never sell gold. It's just like, number one, it's not, okay. Number one, it's seriously against TOS. You'll get permaban for selling gold. But I wouldn't do it even if it wasn't permabanable anyway, because the amount of money you actually get for gold is not that much. Now that's relative to the amount of money you make in life anyway, or where you grow up or whatever like that, you know? So, but it just doesn't seem worth it to me. I wouldn't ever do it to turn it into a job like that. And the other thing is you're selling to shady operations, you know? Like this account I started in 2006. There were no, you couldn't buy mounts. There were no plush toys. You couldn't get the little pets that follow you around. You couldn't get all the little things that slowly crept into the game as the monetization of games became the dominant culture within corporate gaming. I watched and grew up as that shifted and transformed. And you can always tell the OG gamers because they just never buy those, if they buy one of the like boosted things where you get the free mount, they never use the mount. Like they don't want to show people they have the mount, because to like my generation of gamers, it's like, it symbolizes the kind of downturn, one of the downturns in Classic. So, so that's a part of like the whole monetization of the industry, and then bots as well. And if you're selling and buying gold, you're kind of, you know, you're supporting that economy in some way. But I get it. I'm not judging people who buy gold. Like buying gold, if you want to be competitive in this game, if you're trying to rush world first, things like that, and you're really pumping, like, well, world first is different because it's, but yeah, I mean, there are, people have jobs, they have families, they want to be able to raid and do their stuff, and they don't have time to do stuff in the game. They buy gold. It's like, okay, whatever. I get that. But no, I buy stuff in the game, bro. I buy stuff. I don't have that much gold. I've got like 10k gold because I just sell. I buy stuff. I spent 10k gold leveling a second rogue up to 70, paying mages to boost them. I bought 4 blink strikes across 2 characters. I've leveled 4 or 5 professions because I switched one of them. Each of those professions cost thousands to level as well, like engineering all the way up to the top, stuff like that. Mining, you're buying all the stuff so you can smelt mine and then selling it, but not making that much back. And multiple flying mounts. Every piece of pre-BIS gear and BIS gear that I could get from phase to phase, all the gems, 30 haste pots every raid night, plus all the other consumables. Just Willy Wonka, like just totally Willy Wonka, like I can buy whatever I want. Like one of those Russian oligarchs, you know, with 2 cigars hanging out either side of my mouth and 5 gold watches on each wrist. That's kind of how I've been playing WoW. Just get it, whatever you want. So I make it because I like making it, and then I spend it on whatever the hell I want. By the way, did you get your Shadow Res gear for launch night? I haven't fully completed the set. I'm just going to buy it. I have like 3 bits. I'll do a little bit of research and we'll get it. Yeah, I'm not worried about hitting Shadow Res cap. We did sell a ring Amber Band of Shadow Protection with 21 Shadow Res on it, I think, for 380 gold. Earlier on this week, or was it the beginning of last week? And even though I still need Shadow Res bits, I would always have sold that because I can get other bits that are worth a lot less than the ring. I've got a locked chest. We are in the right set. We are in the right spec. We're going to wait for these guys to come down. We're actually going to slow them down. Ah, she resisted. That's the worst possible scenario because she's the leader. So even though I distracted them, she's still pathing and they're just going to zoom to her and follow. So it's like the distract never happened, right? It's a catacomb under Winterguard Keep in Dragonblight. It has hyperspawn mobs that respawn constantly. Remember people that could solo dungeons, they used to go there to farm those zombies. Lots of greens and they drop, and it's also good gold farm. Nice. I sold a Shadow Res finger for 325 gold today. Do you think that's good? Yes, that is gold. That is good. Like I said, I sold one for 380 or something like that. 325. Anything over 300 gold for a ring is insane. You're making money. Happy out with that. This looks pretty good. Yeah, so I was doing a bit of theory crafting for a rogue. You know, there's a couple of different ways you can. I think the best strat for rogues, like DKs, can go into Botanica and use Frost Spec in order to just AoE farm everything down in there in Botanica. And they can level from there, I think from like 70 to 72 or 73, something like that. And then they can go to Utgard Keep. And then they can do the same thing there that fire mages do, where they kite guys around the room and burn them down. So they can actually solo. But rogues, I'm trying to figure out a way where I can make solo work. But I think that the best strat for rogues is either in a 3-man or 4-man, like gigabist out dungeon cleaving group with either a prot pala or a prot warrior, or maybe even just a bisque geared ret and a good healer, a resto shaman that can also pump, you know? And a 3-man group that's Sunwell geared will be able to burst through those 5-man normal dungeons no problem. And if we do that, we'll get all that extra XP, right? We'll get like 20 in a 4-man group. It's like 20 or 25% more XP than a 5-man group. And if you're in a 3-man group, it's even more, obviously, because it splits the XP between 3 instead of 4. So that's like kind of top contender at the moment for me. But I was thinking about how I might possibly be able to solo Botanica, a dungeon like Botanica, or the Mechanar, which has a lot of 2-packs and 3-packs, and that's okay because we can, as you've seen in here, we can combat farm, we can sap one and then burst the other guys down with a blade flurry, then move on to the next pack, sap the next one, and then use our adrenaline rush, and we can stagger our cooldowns that way and be able to cut through packs. But I don't think it's going to be as good experience per hour soloing that as it is in a 3-man base comped out dungeon cleave group. I just don't think it's going to be as good. We'll just do the old-fashioned river run here. But these are just my initial thoughts. Open world stuff is just risky, you know, because there's so many people on the server, it gets bottlenecked. If you can start like as a DK, a Frost DK, you can, to go straight into Botanica, you don't have to be going through Outland. Like once you get into the game, you just go into Botanica and then you can jump all those bottleneck and buggy and disconnect issues, or a lot of them, by just dungeon farming for like hours in Botanica and getting shitloads of XP. That's so nice. But I try to avoid the open world. Now, once you get up to like level 77, I think it is, you can go and buy cold weather flying. And once you get cold weather flying, you can actually go into Storm Peaks. And there's a lot of quests there that give really good experience that aren't kill quests, like kill 20 mobs. They're just go and get this thing quest or kill this named mob quest. And because we have stealth and cold weather flying, we can just zoom down on the mob we need to kill or collect the thing we need to collect. And if it's in a construct or building, we can just stealth through, and you know, we can switch over to shadow step build even for that, just to zoom, step through and grab things really quickly. So there's ways you can you can do different approaches at different stages of the leveling grind. But it would be awesome to try and burst for server first rogue. That would be, I would be so down for that. And there's some really good players in my guild. I just need to see if we can get a 3 or 4 man BIS comp group together. Oh, shit. We need to move. They were a little bit closer than I expected, I'm not going to lie. We'll get one attempt off here. Oh no, we'll get 2 attempts. That's all right. That's all right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But the catacomb is very interesting, Highlander, and thank you for mentioning that, because if you do get ahead of the pack, if you get lucky, you manage to get in quick and get started quick, and you don't get any server queues or disconnect issues and stuff like that. You hand in your 25 quests, you get to 70.5, you ping over there, and you start pumping. You can get ahead of the pack after a few hours. And as soon as you're ahead of the pack enough that you can get into the next zone or the next area that nobody else is in, you can really take advantage of like areas like that are mob dense. It's kind of like getting to Throne of the Elements or Throne of Kil'jaeden first when you get to 70 quickly. There's very few other players there, and you can farm primals for hours. Then after the next, for the next few hours, people start turning up, and then it becomes competitive, and then you got to move. But by then, you've already leveled, and you can go on to the next area. So, like, getting ahead of the pack for open world is just absolutely priority. Is this server first for Classic Plus? Wow, no. For Wrath, I'm thinking about for Wrath. I was just doing a bit of thinking about it today, but not too much. We gotta wait. See what happens at BlizzCon. See when Classic Plus is actually coming. I'm not sure if they would have achievements like server first in Classic Plus. But I mean, we could turn it into a stream, I mean, we could just look at the other rogues and look at their levels, and if we got it first, we got it first, But that's actually not a bad idea. I wasn't ever considering going for the Classic Plus title, but I could. Yeah, for Wrath of the Lich King Annie, exactly. I think we got everything. Fell, Addy, Motor Water, 2 chests. We got a Fell Iron. I think the Addy is behind a Boglord. What do you got? 49 gold? Sure. Yeah, that's a Boglord. We're going to leave him with his vein. Surely they patched this. No, this is a money printer and looks like it could be easily botted. If you think that you can easily bot it can't be easily botted. Because there's complex areas throughout all of the pulls where mobs will come to attack you. You need to be situationally, and it changes depending on their pathing. It's not easy to bot. The bots that come in here come in for the mines and the gas cloud, because those are absolutely easy to bot. But the chests are not. Like, you need to do NG pulls or long pulls, and they're complicated. I know I make it look easy, but like, it takes a while to learn this, and if you tried to make a bot do this, it just wouldn't work. It is a money printer though, that's for sure. Nah, you're good. Let's put this down here. But these loading screens are brutal. Somebody came in the chat a few months ago and they're like, thanks for ruining the game. Your your farm has crashed the economy on my server and you're the reason why there's all these bots in here. And my response to him was, thank you for the compliment. Because if my single video could actually have the potential to do all of those things, it would mean it was absolutely off the charts bonkers. But it's not, because you're wrong. They've been botting this since the last TBC at least. They're not getting the chests. And this is a drop in the ocean of the economy of WoW, and it had nothing to do with any of the fluctuations. But the guy was raged and wanted to splash around a bit and throw his toys out of the pram, so we let him do that. Get it all out, buddy. Cough it up, cough it up. I had a pretty smooth first run, that was nice. Nothing insane on the loot. It's this chest again, as locked. But with this new pathing here, it's kind of nice. We can get this one. We couldn't before, but when they go up here, we can get this now. Oh, that's nice timing. Do we have everything we need? We do. Just always look out for these guys here. They can scuff the bull pretty badly. Nice. Fat fingered my B and my N buttons. Nice, smooth, smooth. I like chest 8. It's my favorite chest by far. Because if it's not locked, we can do the click vanish pull, which is so cool, and it's the most amazing tech that I've learned this time around. And it changes every single dungeon that I go into that have chests from Classic, TBC, and Wrath. If there are chests in Wrath, I can't remember if they removed them. But every one we go into has now been fundamentally changed, and there's new opportunities to use click vanish, which is really, really cool. I love that. And if it is locked, we get to combat, burst them down, and open it. So chest 8 is like by far my favorite chest. Chest 1 is my second favorite now because we just learned how to combat that too. And it's the latest innovation. It's a fresh innovation from the last week. So that's really nice. Anything new that we can do is good. I think that's long enough to wait. I'm going to try and time it so we get just to the bottom of the ramp. We're going to hit it around now. And we want the timer to be at 0 when we hit land. There are lockboxes in Wrath. Yeah, lockboxes, but chests, I mean. You can get tiny titanium lockboxes and frosty lockboxes and titanium. Yeah. You can get 3 epics from them and I think 3 or 4 rares. There we go, 0. We were a little bit early on that one. Yeah, you can get the crawl cleaver, which is a crawl blade level 80 souped up equivalent. You can get, instead of the night blade, you get the dusk blade, which is just a level 80 night blade basically. And we're actually going to do this one. Okay, well, he saw us, so. You get, instead of getting the Night Blade, which you get in TBC, you get a Dusk Blade, level 80, Armor Pen, same thing. And instead of getting Spine Sever, we get Spine Slicer, which is a level 80 Spine Sever, basically. So there's 3 epics, and then you can get a Puzzle Ring, Staff of Zabra Jin. I think there's one more rare. And those are quite good. They're like late 70s. I think that the staff is like 80. And I don't think they're pre-raid bis, but I think they're like pre-raid bis. Like they're pretty good. You could go into pre-raid with them, you know? So they'll sell well. All of them will sell very well. So I am looking forward to that a lot. Those boxes can give you a lot of twink items for level 79 twinks. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. I actually have a super secret section on the Rogues Diary Discord where I have a list of all the Wrath farms and the lock boxes from Wrath and what they all drop. So that's all prepped and ready to go if and when we do get to that stage. Let's see what happens with Plus. Classic Plus. Why is my text doubled up? That's very strange. There we go. Do I prefer PvE or PvP? Definitely PvE. I think I would like or enjoy PvP if I ever really put the time into getting good at it, but I never have. I've always been PvE. I love raiding and I love gold farming, or anything shenanigans wise that you can do, like figuring out how to do things using like tips, tricks, trinkets, and talents. I love that kind of stuff. But in order to be, so I'm pretty good PvE rogue, and I'm pretty good gold farming rogue. In doing the farms and also in like discovering or finding out how to do new things. But as far as PvP goes, I would be considered doggy shite, I think, because I've never done it like properly. Like, I mean, I've dueled people and stuff and won, but it's not the same thing. You need to know every class. You need to know your cooldowns for each class specifically in situations. I haven't done any arena really, so I would be very, very bad PvP rogue. But it is something that I want to learn. In order to be a well-rounded rogue, I think you need to be good at all those things. You need to be very good at PvE, you need to be very good at PvP, and you need to be very good at dungeon crawling and gold farming, using stealth farming specifically. I think those are the holy trinity of rogue skills. So we are going to get better at PvP for sure. It's coming. It is coming. Yeah, it feels like a big learning curve. Yeah, it's going to be. That's why I haven't started it yet, because I know how much I'm going to have to put into it. It's going to be a lot. Just got to put in the grind. Just got to put in those hours, you know. But I do take some solace in knowing that at the end of the day, it's not going to be that much different than learning anything complicated, like developing and learning this farm, mage AoE farming, paladin AoE farming. You just got to die a lot of times and keep doing it. And then at some point, you just start to get better at it, and then you nail it. The difference between PvP and gold farming is that when you nail a particular strategy for a gold farm, you just get it, and then you get to finish the dungeon and you can do it. But when you start getting better at PvP, there's no like eureka, you've done it moment. It's just now you're not dying as much. Reset. Addy fell. Done. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Did I get the motor water? I did. Okay, we're making pretty good time here. Quick reset macro. Yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you very much. That's Hunty13. Lovely. Lovely. We're smashing through the followers. We were at like 300 and something followers like last week. And now we're up to, I don't know, nearly 500 or something. It's really, really nice. We had our best stream yet, because I'm like a very, very new streamer. I just got the equipment for it in January, streamed for a couple of months, very basic setup, got a better mic and so on. And I was traveling for 6 to 8 weeks, so I had to stop everything. We started streaming again 2 weeks ago. All of my metrics were down to zero again, like no subscribers. The followers were still down in the low hundreds, but like no subs, no watchtowers, everything was reset to zero 2 weeks ago. And now we're flying. We're up to like almost 500 subs. We got 34 Prime subs, I think, in the last 2 weeks, which is absolutely massive. I couldn't believe that. We had 4,800. Yo, thank you for the follow. Helped me reach my goals. Appreciate you. We have 4,870 something viewers yesterday. Not at one time for the whole stream. The stream was like 5 hours long, something like that. But for me, that's absolutely insane. It's an absolutely insane number. Like that's the number of people that'll be like at a small football match, you know, which is just crazy to me. Like a very small football match. So that was super cool. And we hit 167 on Twitch, but we had a few more. So somewhere under 200 viewers on combined YouTube and Twitch at one time. Like, so we hit triple digits as well. So man, I'm just over the moon about that. It's just so cool. So I'm super, super happy, super stoked. And I really appreciate all the support as well. It's so good. Love to see that you've been keeping up with it a lot lately. This is me, Anna. This is me. And thank you for the support. This is it now. Like I'm locked in 100%. Minimum 5 days a week streaming. The only times I won't be streaming on the weekends are when I have to do something or if I'm editing a video or I need to put some other content out. But this is going to be it now for the next 6 months. I'll be moving to a different school in 6 months. And, you know, there'll be a little break there for a few days while I get set up and get new fiber line and blah, blah, blah. But this is it now. I'm living in China now for at least 1 year, probably 2. And it's just all in on streaming and training. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's everything now. Classic Plus is coming around the corner. Yeah. Cheers, mate. G'day, mate. Nice one. Yes, Yodavai. G'day. You deserve this. Bro face red heart shape. Ah, you're a legend. You're a legend. That's the next thing on my list to allow emojis in the chat. But I am a big time noob to Twitch. Pretty good at Rogue, but very new to Twitch. This chest again. Guys. But you know what the good thing about this one is? Even though we got it first crack both times, 2 runs, this one we're definitely going to get because it's not locked. Which we love to see. I'm going to be patient though. I'm not going to rush it. Rushing it is how you get killed. It's Blitz 9890. Yo, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the chat. Haven't been here for a while. Yeah. I remember the name. Yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you very much. CRTV? Yeah, I got that right. Need to make that a little bit bigger. We'll get there. How have you been, It's Blitz? How have you been? I think the last time you would have been on, I was probably living in Bangkok, or I might have been in Hanoi at that stage. But I'm fully set up now, base camped for 1 to 2 years, and we're just going full bore streaming 5 days a week, minimum. Let's get this guy. We're going to wait for him to pass. We'll probably go for her, actually. That's it. Slow and steady, boys. Slow and steady. Nice. You got to be very careful. You got to come to the corner here. You don't want to get him, and you don't want to get them. So that is a tricky chest if they're there. You got to make sure you're at the corner of it here. Because if you're here or here, they pull and scuff the pull. happened to me many times. And if you're too close, he'll see you. You got to be right. So you got to be behind the line and a little bit to the left, to the right here, and then you're good. That's the sweet spot. I was here when the SV runs were all new and being experimented. Aha, yeah. Brother, we're still making innovations. We're still making innovations. I'll give you an example. Just this week, I realized I probably had the gear required to be able to combat chest the first chest, the one you come down the stairs and go to turn left. So we can do that in combat now. We started doing that in combat. Somebody came into the chat, another rogue came into the chat and shared this chest. And he was like, here's what I do with these ones. If these two are unlocked, he goes, I pull them down there. And I was like, yeah, you use the NG boots and the frost grenade. I was like, I used to do that, but you have to wait 5 minutes to use them if you've had one on that one. So that's why I do it river run. He's like, no. He goes, you don't have to use any cons. He goes, you pull them, whichever chest it is, you go down there, and he goes, blind the first one, gouge the next one, cripple the next one, cripple the next one, and then sprint out. Shadow step to the crab, and you can crack the chest if it's not locked. And I was like, how did I not think of that? And he was absolutely right. What a legend. So now, whenever these are unlocked, that's the strat I do. Now, I don't have any crippling poison, which is foolish, but I do have a grenade, and I do have a sprint. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we will blind him, and we will gouge the next one. Well, we'll blind him because he's a little bit faster than the others. And then we'll just throw a grenade. And then we'll use... Oh, okay, so I got netted. Oh, shit. I got netted after the thing. But we have our trusty... Oh, I might be able to still get it here. Probably not. Okay, now we just wasted that one. Okay. So what happened there was we used our... Hello, Mr. Rourke. We used our frost grenade, and then we used the boots. Or we used the sprint, rather. The sprint, improved sprint, will remove a net, which we have. But once you use sprint, you can be re-netted after you use the sprint. And that's what happened. That can happen often, especially if there's 2 engineers in the pool. So we're still ironing out the creases a little bit on that pull, because like I said, the guy just shared it with us in the last week, and those chests aren't always up. But yeah, we're still learning. So brother, Blitz, there's still innovations happening every week. You'll probably see a lot of them now when you're watching in these next runs. I started shadow stepping to the small water elementals when I'm coming back down to get chests. If they're pathing across the chest, instead of avoiding them or going, oh shit, like I used to. 560 followers, holy. Guys, I thought we were nearly 500. We're nearly 600. Insane. Thank you everyone for the support. Appreciate it a lot. So yeah, I used to shit myself with the water elementals. Like, oh no, what do I do? But now I just shadow step to one of the smaller ones, and by the time they realize you're there, you're already getting the speed burst from the shadow step, moving away from them, creates distance, then you vanish. So the LEs have actually become basically like a grab point for a step. So they're actually helping the pull now, which is super sick. I think it was Bangkok. You had a small setup, looked like a hotel room. Yeah, that was Bangkok. Fungus, hey man, how's it going? Did you go with Tavarok yesterday? Yeah, we kept trying to kill him. We didn't kill him yet, but we're going to go again. These are our first 5 runs. I didn't want to go straight into Tavarok. I wanted to warm up a bit, do some SV first. But we are going to go into Tavarok, and we're going to try and kill him again. We're getting close. We're getting close with Tavarok. It's not going to be something we can consistently do in this gear, but I just want to get the first kill. I just want to be the first rogue to kill him solo, so we can stick it up online, and from there we'll get better gear, and maybe we'll figure out some other strat or some other trinket will pop up that allows us to do it consistently or more consistently, and we'll be flying. Skomek, how you doing, brother? Mark Kumite, yo, brother, how you doing? How have you been lately? Still on this farm? Still farming the farm. We love farming the farm. We're making gold all day, so we'll be doing that. But I am going to diversify the stream a bit. I've been streaming the last 2 weeks with this fiber Unicom China setup, 100 megabits per second download, over 100 megabits per second download. So it's really, really good. And we got set up with a V2 Rayen software, which is basically a socket software that uses proxies, where I rent something called IPCL lines that route underneath the Great Firewall. And it's like, it's what all the people who know what the best options to use for getting around the firewall use. They don't use VPNs, they use this software. So after a bit of research, I found that, and now we're streaming solid. Like, because VPNs and the Great Firewall, it's just a cat and mouse game. You're always getting disconnected and stuff. So we have a really good setup for speed and streaming. So that's really cool. So I'm super happy with that. I'm still on the farm. So yeah, I've been doing this for the last 2 weeks. The gold farm is a big draw. It's something that I like to do. So I'm definitely going to stream this a lot because I love it. But the other thing I want to stream is probably going to just level a new rogue, maybe on a US server. That's one. I also want to do classic era gold farming streaming. I have a 60 rogue on classic era that I need to do a few things with. Let's put our PvP trinket on in case that happens again. We have a level 80 rogue on the Wrath private servers that we need to equip the right gear, which we can actually just buy, I found out, which is pretty cool, so that we can record the Karazhan farm and potentially the Black Temple farm that I heard about recently, so that if and when Wrath is released, we are ready to go with Wrath. And we can just pop one of the best gold farms in the game for any class. We're ready, and we have the best tutorial video on how to do that ready for the Wrath hype. We'll probably get 2 clicks on this chest now. But we don't need it because it was unlocked. Very interesting. I remember when stepping to the frogs was like elite tech. Yeah. It still is. I love it. I love a crab step. I love a frog step. I'll even do a snake step every now and again. How have you been lately? Still on this farm? Yeah, I've capitulated. Couldn't farm anymore. It was too overwhelming to do the same thing month on end. I get you. For me, I don't know, I can hyper focus on things that I enjoy no problem and do it for hours on end. I think it's an ADHD thing. What's the best raw gold per hour you can do on classic as rogue? On classic, not TBC, you mean like classic, like era? It's hard to say because it all depends on what the assets from the farm sell for and what the economy of the server is at that given time. And that will vary depending on PvE and PvP servers. So I can't give you a solid number, unfortunately. But I can tell you the best gold farms for solo rogue are the Zul'Gurub gold farm. You can sneak in there, you can use engineering to mine all of the veins in there, and that's an arcane crystal farm. There's 4 in every reset, and you can do it in 12 minutes. Now, if you're in the open world at Burning Steeps, or maybe you're in the Silithus tunnels, stealth farming down there where the elite bugs are, if there's nobody else in the open world and it's thorium rich, like there's lots of rich thorium veins, I mean, you can make more money in a good hour than you can instance farming. But that means there has to be no competition. And that's, so it goes up and down. But for instance farming, like Zul'Gurub, you can get 4 nodes. Now, usually one of those is a very difficult node to get. I did make a video showing how to get all of them using engineering, but generally speaking, you're usually going to only get 3 out of each, 2.5 to 3 out of each reset, because some of the node spawns are just too difficult. They're not worth it. However, there are some new things that have popped up that I realized I could have used in Classic that would have made it a lot easier. So that's why I have a level 60 rogue on Era now, who has like, I think 190 engineering and mining. The reason why I leveled her up, and I've been leveling engineering with her, is to to re-record this farm and make it the best version of the video, so that it's just there for life, and anyone who ever does era can go and look at that. So the Zul'Gurub farm is really good if you just go straight mining. The other option with Zul'Gurub is you go mining and herbalism. Because you don't have engineering, it lowers the amount of nodes that you can get, so the arcane crystals are less. That's really what you're looking for with the nodes. But you can get a lot of herbs, and the herbs can drop Bloodvine, which is a solid sell all the way through era, because you can make the Bloodvine set, which gives you a lot of hit, which every caster needs in order to progress and get ready for like Nax, for example. You want to gear up, you want to get ready to go into Nax Gold GDKPs, which is like obviously S tier, the best gear. That's what people want to do when they want to max out their character, right? And you're a caster and you're DPS, you're going to need to get Bloodvine. So everybody goes through the Bloodvine set, almost everybody at some stage. So they still sell really well. So Zul'Gurub is a very good farm, whether it's mining, just mining and engineering, or mining and herbalism. Just check and see if I got everything. Fell, Addy, Moda Water, chest 1, chest, and a reset. Yeah, we got everything. On a fresh server in Classic, if it's a fresh new server release, there's some really fun gold farms you can do. I mean, there's obviously the Devilsaur Mafia farm, where you have skinning and you go down to Ungoro and you just camp Devilsaurs, and when somebody tags the Devilsaur and kills it, it's a scummy thing to do. Now I've never done it myself, but you could do it. When somebody tags the Devilsaur, they kill it, you're in stealth, you sneak up to the, as they're about to kill it, you sneak and get in range. They will bend down to pick up the loot. As soon as they loot the mob, they'll stand up again, and before they skin it for a split second, it will be a skinnable target. And then you can just hit skin, and you can actually skin it before they... Now, if you're on a PvP server, you could just kill the player if they're Alliance, and then just take it. But you can skin it before they... But if they're a horde and you want to do it against your own race and you're just in it for the money and you don't give a shit what people think about you, you can actually get the skin in before they do, in between their loot and their skin. Click. And then you get Devilsaur leather from that. And if you do that, everybody and their grandmother needs Devilsaur set. Devilsaur set at the start of Classic for physical DPS, warriors and rogues and stuff like that, is the equivalent of Bloodvine for casters in a few phases. It's your pre-raid bis, so everybody has to get it. So it's worth a lot, and that's the only place you can get the leather from. So that's one farm. The other this is my favorite farm for fresh server. You go into Lower Blackrock Spire as a rogue. You got to practice it. Takes some skill. You got to know. You got to have pots ready. You got to have stun grenades ready. You need to be NG and so on and so forth. But fresh server, you rush to 60. You sneak into LBRS and you kill the pyromancers in there. And there's 3 of them in the dungeon, and they're pretty easy to get to. You kill those pyromancers, and they can drop the pattern for Belt of the Archmage, which is bis for mages in phase 1 and in phase 2. And you can get the recipe for the Greater Fire Protection Potion, which is if you get that early, if you're one of the first on the server to get that, that's like getting a haste potion recipe early on in TBC. It's just worth so much money. Now, the longer it goes on, the more people go in there, because LBRS isn't a difficult dungeon. Everybody goes in, and suddenly the market will be flooded with those recipes. But if you're one of the first and you can farm it consistently and get those things, and the drop rate on them is pretty good. So you just go in 12-minute runs. You can do 5 in an hour. Whereas everybody else, it's taking them 45 minutes to do one run. And you get all the loot. You can make a lot of gold. A lot of gold doing that early on. Okay, so it's this chest, and it's locked. That's fine. Everything's up, ready to go. Let's do that. But yeah, I mean, I could talk for hours about classic farms. It's where I cut my teeth. What's the software you're using to get past the firewall? Just asking in case EU gets more totalitarian. It's called V2RayN. V2RayN. You can get it on GitHub. And then what you need to do is you go onto one of these Chinese websites and they rent you a gigabit package. I have 1,000 gigabytes a month so that I can stream as much as I want and download as much stuff as I want and never have to worry about it. Let me get this quick. Think I might pull the water lilies here. I hope that I don't. I didn't. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Oh, she didn't distract though, but that's okay. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about stepping. Okay, no failures so far. That's really, really nice. And we got a lot of lock chests. And we're on our 4th run. So this has been pretty nice. Not great gold per hour, but pretty nice. Yeah, V2RayN. Yeah, exactly. I actually just wrote it in there, but for some reason it said there's been an error and my message wasn't sent. Exactly, yeah. Put it in there. It's on GitHub. It's totally free. It's totally free. And then you just rent the IPCL lines from providers. Now, I use Chinese sites and I had to get Google to translate what they all meant and give me step-by-step instructions on what buttons to click. And then I rented the lines. All right, that's locked. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way, huh? Wrong way, Rue. Come back, come back, come back. There we go. And Diarmo East, of course, for mines and herbs. You're dead right. That's another really, really good one. I had mining. That's in my top 5 favorite farms of all time. I absolutely love it. I love that dungeon, the design of the dungeon. You get to kill the satyrs. They can drop fellcloth. There's 2 dungeons in the chest you can very easily get. And it's fun to get them because you use your pathing shenanigans and jumping on ledges and resetting combat and then opening the chest. But there's little like vine pods around the place, and if you walk close to them, they can spawn little guys and they scuff your pull. So learning where they are exactly and never dying to them again is a very, very satisfying thing to nail. There's ghost mushrooms in there. There's like 4 or 5 ghost mushrooms, I think 4 per run. There's Grom's Blood and Dreamfoil in the courtyard, and you get the RNG of possibly getting one of the books. So you can get the Compendium of Dragon Slaying in there that can get you an Epic Quell Sarar. You can get the trinket books for each class. Some of them are worth very little. A couple of them are worth a pretty penny. Like, there's just so much RNG dopaminergic response to be had in there. And the music is really nice. The dungeon design is really nice. Yeah, Diarmo East is unreal. And it's BIS all the way through. It's one of the BIS farms all the way through because Dreamfoil is used for major mana potions. Grom's Blood is used for Mighty Rage Potion and for 1 or 2 other things. And Ghost Mushrooms are used for Shadow Power. Oh, we got a Dawnstone, very nice. We're keeping all our gems, by the way, because they're worth nothing now. But they will go back up soon. Yeah, Shadow Power for Ghost Mushrooms, and Fellcloth is used to make Mooncloth bags and a number of other things. So everything you get in there is really good. And the chest can drop Traveler's Backpacks. You know, if that wasn't enough, every now and again you get a Traveler's Backpack, which sells for like whatever, 10, 15, 20, 25 gold, depending on your server and how inflated the economy is and so on. So I can just pretend I loot, stand up and see if there's a rogue there. Yes, you can slash kneel. No, you can't, because if you slash kneel and then stand up, you won't have actually looted the mob, And the rogue will only come out of stealth. He won't like pop stealth and then click the thing. He will click the thing when he sees the skinning icon. And by skinning it, it will remove him from stealth. So you can't check if a rogue is there by faking the kneel, because he'll only come out once he sees that clickable thing. What's the first item a fresh level 70 rogue should buy with badges? The Bloodlust brooch, I would say. This one. It's so good. It's a 2-minute cooldown, so you can macro it to Blade Flurry, and it just makes your flurries. It's like just flurries on steroids, basically. It's 41 badges. That's a really good one. Yeah, you can get Blood Knight Warcloak as well, this one, but it's not the same. And you can very easily get a better cape. I mean, there's a cape in Ochennai Crypts, the Ochennai Death Shroud, I think, that's even better than the badge cape anyway. The badge cape is nice for PvP, but outside of that, it was at the start of the phase, but not now. What else can you get from the vendor? Yeah, no, 100% it's the Bloodlust brooch. That is the most important thing you can get. The helm is very good as well, to be honest. The helm that you can get in there, it looks cool as hell, and it sims the exact same as the tier 4 helm from Kara, and you can get it with badges. So you can get, but I still wouldn't get it because you can easily get Helm of the Claw from doing the quest here in the Coilfang Reservoir. I think you go into Steam Vault, you find Watcher Zhang or something like that. You have to find the two of them, and then you get a Helm of the Claw. It has a metagem socket, and it's a really, really good helm. So you have something you can get that's almost as good as the badge helm, but you don't have a trinket you can get that's almost as good as brooch. So get the brooch. You're grabbing Season 2 offhand today. Somebody just mentioned that in the chat earlier. Inflames, I think, or one of the boys, that it might be possible to buy it. I don't actually think that I'll be able to buy it, because I don't think I have enough. You tell me. I'm not sure how much it's worth. I've got 801 arena points. I think I need more than that. I did like a couple of days of arena before I realized that it was going to be a serious investment, and I wanted to take it seriously. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this until I'm up and running. The stream is set. I've got my routine down. I'm doing the gold farm, and I need, a day or two to put extra content in there. With all the digital ID stuff, censoring and child protection, wink wink, coming up in the EU, this may come in handy. Yeah, for sure. It's always nice to be able to live your life without the government breathing down your neck. That's 100%. 100%. Dire Molly's jump run solo. My shaman single-handedly funded my entire run through Annie. Nothing like the dopamine hit of an arcane crystal. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Now, you can't do that on Rogue. You have to kill the second boss, Zevram Thornhoof. And I did solo him. There's a video on my channel of me in phase 1 gear with daggers on the Night Elf Rogue, soloing him. I used the Shadow Res trinket from Classic Engineering. I actually have one in my bank here, the Ultra Flash Shadow Reflector. And I used it to reflect his sacrifice spell back onto him, so he sacrificed himself on the altar. Now, I didn't do any damage to him, but it was a very fun thing to do. And I used Barov's trinket and launched that so that he would target one of them with the sacrifice as well, which allowed me to vanish but still stay in combat. So I took a lot of shenanigans, and it wasn't something that I could consistently do. However, I think in full phase 2 bis or 2.5 or something close to 3, I think it would be easier and it would be possible to solo. But as a rogue, you're always going to be using the pathing to try and get the big boss down at the end, and you might be able to like come down and burst him with the Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry, get him down, and then jump up on the ledge, but it's going to be an awful lot slower than like Shaman with Elemental, Warlock, Shadow Priest, Hunter. Any of those rangy classes can do it a lot faster, for sure. But getting into that tunnel, man, and having 3 rich thorium veins is so nice. It's so nice. With rogues, we can go to the Silithid tunnels down in Silithus, and we can go down there where the elites are and just stealth through. And if there's an elite beside, you just open with cheap shot, because they're not humanoids, you can't sap them. You open with cheap shot, you mine 1, then you gouge, you mine 1, then you go into a kidney shot, you mine 1, and then your gouge is off cooldown, and you gouge them again, and you mine the last one, and then you vanish, and that's it. And if you really need to, you can use Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry to burst them down. Oh no shit. At this point of the game, with new gems coming, do you think it's worth leveling a rogue 1 to 70 just for this farm? Yes, it definitely is. 80 to 90% of the value of this farm doesn't actually come from gems. It comes from ores, which continue to increase in price as the expansion continues. Excuse me. It comes from scrolls. It comes from ore, scrolls of Agi 5, scrolls of Strength 5, and the enchanting materials that you send to your alt to disenchant. All the greens and blues, large prismatic shards. That's where the... Let's be conservative, say it's the 80-20 rule. That's where the 80% of the profits are coming from. So look at those gold per hour averages. Take 80% of that. Even if the gems were completely removed from the game, that's what you're going to make. And that's a conservative estimate. It's probably a bit more than that. It's probably like 85 to 90% of the farm. Because the gems aren't that common. And in phase 1 at launch, all of them were worth an awful lot. But in phase 2, they peaked for like about a week, back up to good prices. But I didn't like hoard them all to sell them in that week. I just sold them whenever I got them. So the gems aren't worth a huge amount, to be honest. This farm and MT are going to be best for rogues into Wrath, and this farm in particular is best in terms of gold per hour. So it's definitely worth doing it, because we're only halfway through the expansion, brother. And I've made 120,000 gold out of these farms. So if, I don't know, you probably can't farm as much as I have or can, but even if you make half of that going into Wrath, that's 60k. Now you're going to probably spend half of that again on your raid cons, although haste pots are probably on the vendor now. But even if you had 30k going into Wrath, you're good. And you could take that 30k and invest it into things that are going to go up in Wrath, like Fell Iron bars, and you can double your money or triple your money again. So it's definitely worth it, brother. Discounted offhand price should be around 400, so you should be able to. Oh, it's 300. Can I buy it like right now? Mate, that would be so cool if I could go and buy the offhand right now. Oh my god. You know how to make a mango moist, boys. I'm getting a semi here thinking about it. Let me do this last run, and then are they available to buy right now? Does anyone know? Brother, I know you're a rogue, but do you know any good warlock farms? I just started back up from first 2 weeks of phase 1 when I quit. I actually don't. I don't know any warlock farms. You know, I know some of the mage ones and the paladin ones, because I used to play mage and paladin last TBC. But I don't know. I would just type into YouTube WoW TBC anniversary warlock gold farm. You're gonna find something. Mr. Chow, that would be my advice. Yo, Greener, is that an Irish accent I hear? It is. It is. I am an Irishman. Well heard. Rookie numbers for gold farming, pimp. You think it's better to D than just vendor? Oh, definitely. It's 100% better to D than vendor. 100%. You can get large prismatic shards on my server, sell for anywhere between 20 to 22 gold, and they're going to spike up to probably 25 gold when phase 3 hits and all the new gear comes. That's 25 gold from a blue that would sell to a vendor for depending on what gear socket it is, anywhere between 5 gold and 10 gold. That's just from blues. And the Steam Vault blues always give you an LPS. There's a 3% chance to get an LPS from a level 70 green. You can also get them from some of the Mana Tombs greens, but it's less likely. You can also get like a small shard from those greens because they're lower item level. Whenever I disenchant, you know, some batches you get unlucky and you get a lot of, oh, we're actually in. Thank you, Blizzard. Some batches you get unlucky and you get a lot of arcane dust, but over the course, the average, I think it's my hunch that it gives you about 20% more gold. Like you could take something like a wrist, or let's take a cape. To a vendor, that's 2 gold 29. If I disenchant that and I get 2 greater planar essences, that's 10 gold. I just 4x'd my money, you know, and so you make considerably more from disenchanting them. You should definitely do that. You only need to get an alt to level 35, by the way, to learn enchanting up to 275, I think. You can maybe even go higher than that. Maybe you can go to 300, I'm not sure. But 275 will let you disenchant any outline green or blue. And you just have him sitting in Thunderbluff, because that's the best one for logistics from postbox to auction house and bank. They're super close to one another. So you get a level 35, spend a few hundred gold leveling him up to 275 enchanting. It's not really that much, because the last levels are always the most expensive to learn, right? But you only need 275. And then you park him at level 35 in Thunderbluff and you just send everything over to him. That's what I do. You'll see at the end of this run now, I'll send it over to him. This chest, and it's not locked. Honestly, guys, we're blessed with this run. We're blessed now. I think I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. You got to be very careful here. That's the hardest pull, because that guy, the guy over here, there's a lot of patrols to be mindful of. But once you get it, you got it. And you just want to wait a little bit so that you can get all of them, or as many of them as possible. And then we'll go for this guy, and then we vanish. We had a quick look and we're okay here. What we're really looking for here are shadow resistance items. A ring or a cape or wrists, anything that has shadow protection on it is worth a lot of money right now. Oh, we missed the mine. I found an amber band of shadow protection in here last week, sold it for 380 gold. It's insane. You think it's better to eat? Yeah. What professions you got? Mining and engineering, brother. You need engineering for the belt and for the boots, for the NG pulls. You get bombs for PvE. It's the best PvE. The two best PvE, like raid damage dealing professions for rogue, are engineering, so that you get the bombs, and enchanting, so that you get the ring enchants. The jewel crafting JC only gems in TBC are not great, at least in these phases. And I think I simmed it and they don't really get any better. So enchanting gives you, it's about 15 DPS, 10 to 15 DPS increase on both of your rings. So 10 to 15 DPS total, like 5 to 7.5. Another unlocked chest, that's nice. I think I'll do this. And to put that into context, 10 to 15 DPS is a minor, like 15 DPS is a little bit more than minor. It's like the bottom of a moderate upgrade or a mid-tier upgrade from phase to phase. So for example, phase 2 to phase 3, the neck, the cape, the ring, just one of the rings, neck, cape, ring, the PvP weapon, the main hand weapon, are all 10 DPS upgrades from their phase 2 BIS equivalents. So enchanting is like having basically the next phase BIS for a minor slot, always. So it's not nothing, you know. Just checked an hour ago, still not available. Okay, cool. You can buy it probably after reset. Yeah. I'm playing on Night Slayer and it was available 5 hours ago. Yeah, the US sometimes get things quicker than we do. Yeah, weapons are available. I was just a vendor, at least in North America. Okay. Yes, you can buy right now. Prices are available in chat. Just bought mine. Prices are available in Shatra. So I can buy it in chat, or I have to go to Area 52. We're going to go back there after this run, which is our 5th anyway. It's already discounted. What are you doing with all your gold? I actually don't. I spend it as soon as I make it, brother. I spent a lot. I bought 4 blink strikes. Like, oh, I've gone through the list so many times because people ask me. I don't want to bore the people who've been watching the stream by saying it again, but I've bought a lot of shit, basically. A lot of shit. I'm like Mike Tyson with my gold. You know, I made a lot and then I'm in debt suddenly because I just blow it all. But that's why we play the game. It's fun. I love it. Like, I don't care. I use 35 haste pots every raid night. You know, I'm popping haste pots on trash. I'm just like YOLOing it up. Like, if I could buy a yacht and sail down this up and down this river in a yacht, just burning my gold coins, I would. You know, if it was available, I would do it. Okay, appreciate it. You're very welcome, brother. We're tailing season 2 gear, guys, not season 1. Yeah. Season 2. Do you go mining herb? Nah, I was herb. When I came in here first and I was learning the farm, I was herb. And then I realized if I go NG and I have stun grenades, I can probably open some of these other chests. And then it went on from there. And then we got to the position we're in now. Season 2 is already discounted on Night Slayer. Yeah. If he's EU, he has to wait till tomorrow. I am EU, yeah. Addy, moats, fell, water. That's it? Damn. 273 gold. Let's get out of here. But it is toward the end of the phase. So a lot of this is because Addies are worth nothing anymore. You know? Oh, fells are back up from 88 silver to 1 gold. Okay. It has begun. What are Addies at? Wow. Oh no, 173. No, that's really bad. I was talking at prospect price, but fells are up. That's interesting. Addies will go back up to 273. They'll be back up like 2 weeks after launch. They'll be back up 250, 270. No, we keep the IG. Intellect is dog. So let's get rid of that. I think that's about it. Now let's do our loot. We were trying to kill. We're going in to kill Tavarok now, by the way. You just play rogue or have alts? No, I just play rogue. Rogues. I wanted a ret pally alt because I played ret pally last time. I wanted a mage alt because I played raid TBC last time, and I had a full tier 2 bist out mind quickening gem mage in era. And I was going to make mage my main, but I just know rogue way better than the other classes. And I didn't actually play it in TBC. In original TBC in 2007, I switched from rogue to shadow priest. And last TBC, I played mage and ret pally. So I didn't actually play TBC with rogue. And it's my favorite class since 06. So I wanted to do that. And I'm glad I did, because the channel is called Rogue's Diary. And there's a lot of people doing mage gold farming. There's a lot of people doing, you know, paladin gold farming, but I don't think there's many other rogues out here doing gold farming, streaming and stuff. So it worked out pretty well. I'm super happy. Yeah, they may not be. So, but tell me this, hey, where are they? Where do I buy them? Area 52, or can I buy them in Shatra when they do land? How much gold per hour on this farming? It's up there, bro. Look up there. Those are the averages. We're actually just going to add... Oh, I got a Prime sub from somebody. Thank you so much. Who's that? JCR comment, just sub with Prime. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. You're a legend. We love that. And we got a new sub goal. Awesome. Okay. Let me update my subs. It's beautiful, boys. It's beautiful. Subs first. 35 out of 40. Loving it. We were at 0 2 weeks ago. This is insane to me. Absolutely insane to me. TBC gold. Okay, let's update this one. What was it? 273.67. So we round up because it's over 50 silver to 274. 274 plus 4 gold is 278. Okay, it's actually more than this. It's more like 120,000 gold we farmed, but I was being conservative, and I missed out on different things. But whatever, we'll just keep it at this. It's fine. Now we go to SV, and 390 gold. Okay, 390 multiplied by the number of lockouts, 26, and then we add 274 for a total gold farmed in the last 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks and a few days? Is 10,414 gold just from SV. Now we divide that by the new number of lockouts, which is 27, for a new gold per hour average of 385.7, so we'll round it up to 386. That was a very low SV, so we dropped by 4 gold. We will be resetting these at launch of phase 3, by the way, because the new phase, new economy. Alright, so we've updated our sub with 1, thank you so much. TBC has been updated and the SV gold per hour has been updated. Okay, we're good to go. Now, let's put on the swag set, our Bloodfang drip. Is using Season 2 weapon on Latros in the main hand a good combo? The Season 2 main hand weapon is decent. With Latros in the offhand, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good. I think it beats Blink Strike if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't beat Talon. But it's still like, it's still an S tier weapon. Season 2 offhand is better. Yeah, Season 2 offhand is better. Oh, Latros in the main hand. A good combo. No, for the main hand, you want to have something heavy hitting so that your Sinister Strike slap. You want that top end damage. Now, if you're using Harp Spec and you're just raiding Mana Tombs, it's okay. You can even use 2 Latros because you get, see the sword, the 2-set bonus there. If you wear 2 Latros, you'll actually activate that bonus. It's not unique. Then you get 28 expertise, 26 attack power, 52 attack power, 28 expertise, 30 agility, and an extra 30 attack power from the 2-set bonus. And they're super fast, so your poisons hit more, and you get more sword spec procs because you have 2 fast weapons. And we don't mind having lower hitting weapons in the main hand because we're using Hemo, and Hemo increases the physical damage taken by the target. So having faster weapons means that physical damage increase per hit scales with faster weapons. You get me? So it's okay if you're running Harp Spec to go with 2 fast weapons or a fast weapon, but no, you should go with Season 2 main hand and Latros in the offhand. The Season 2 offhand is better than Latros, yeah. It's better by 10 to 15 DPS. It depends on what gear setup you have. I don't have enough points. On theme. Rogue King. Coastzilla, my man. Thank you, bro. I love that. Do you have a guide somewhere on how do you farm gold? Yeah. Go to my YouTube channel, Rogue's Diary. Check out the videos there. There's an SV farming video using NG. There's an SV farming video using non-NG. There's an MT farming video, which isn't as comprehensive, but the 2 SV ones give you a full breakdown of loads of different bits. Watch both of them, even if you have NG, because there's really, really useful information in both of them. Like how to set up an enchanting macro so you can easily level up an enchanter. All the loot listed from 100 runs of SV at the start of the launch of TBC, 200 chests, all opened, all screenshotted, every single piece of loot, all the gems ranked, listed, everything calculated by the auction house prices for them to give a gold per hour. SV was 450 to 500 gold per hour at launch because the gems were worth so much, and the gem drop rate was insanely high. I don't know if they nerfed it, I don't know what happened, but I got a lot of living rubies at launch. Merciless Gladiators quick play, there it is. It says I need 930 points, but you guys said that tomorrow that's going to drop and I won't need the rating requirement. So that's what we'll get tomorrow. Yeah, no, it won't let me buy it. Not yet, boys. Not yet. in that case, Latros is a very good option. It's not that far behind. Yeah, I mean, I'm still using Latros. It's an amazing weapon. I got a 99. I have 99s on Gruul, High King, Mulgar, Alar. So it's you can still parse. You know, it's not an issue. TY for helping me make 25k gold so far. JCR, brother, you're so welcome. There's so much rogue hate in this expansion, and we're secretly like one of the most fun classes to play. Like totally baller. If you just think of this expansion, like I have a guild and I can raid every week and that's fine, but a lot of people are struggling to get into raids. But if your rogue is a gold farmer, just think of this expansion as the start of your villain arc, where you get shunted and abused by the community and you just go off in secret and you just scheme and scam and plan and make loads of money. And then when TBC comes out, we're the best AoE DPS raid class in the game. We have access to the best gold farm possibly in the entire canon, and we're one of the best single target DPS specs in the game. We are absolutely S tier on every level and in PvP in Wrath. So scheme, get the gold, and save it all for Wrath, and that's when we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Chatra vendor has the discounted gear on NA. Yeah, nice. You don't see the discounted prices in chat right now. I see it, but I'm on NA. Offhand was 300, main hand was beautiful. Lads. We can buy it. That's super good. All right, what do I need for Tavarok? Stamina scrolls we have. Disloyalty we have. We need some deadly poison. Belt we have. Badge of tenacity. We have all that stuff. I think we have everything we need, really. Yeah, I shouldn't have. I should have just gone straight to Mana Tombs. We were good to go. So I just need to buy the main hand. Oh right, you don't have Talon of Ashara, right? If you don't have Talon of Ashara, you could buy the main hand. Yeah, sure. But then I'd buy both of them. I'd buy the main hand and the offhand. But if you don't have enough for one and you already have Latros, yeah, buy the main hand for sure. Like, what are you running in your main hand now? Something like Vindicator's Brand or Blink Strike or something like that? For me, like, I'd probably just stick with Blink because I love that sword so much. But it is going to be less DPS, as far as I remember, versus Season 2 main hand. If you don't have Talon, yes, get the main hand. 100%. Inflames is 100% correct. Ghetto Hearthstone macro. Do you think farming Sholo is still okay or hell nah? It's super RNG. If you don't get the RNG, the bottom of the Sholo farm is super bad. At the bottom of MT and SV, like right now it's even lower because everything is worth dog shit at the minute, but when it's like, if we forget about the very bottom, we forget about the very top, and we just take an average across the phase, the bottom of Mana Tombs is like 275 and about 250 when you're down low, and the bottom of SV is around maybe 25 gold more than that. What did we get from the last one? Yeah, 275. That's like kind of the bottom of SV. Maybe down to 260, maybe 250. You get a super bad run. I think we got a 250 SV, but that's because the price of things is like dropped down a lot. They'll bounce back up again. So that's the bottom of these runs. But the bottom of Sholo is like nothing. If you get 1 or 2 dark runes, it's like 20 gold. And then what else are you getting out of the farm? You're getting some rune cloth and you're getting a few green items you can DE. Like the bottom of that is like 50 gold if you don't get lucky. If you get lucky, you can get like 400 to 500 gold per hour. But that's a super rare run, in the same way that, you know, getting a ruby and a noble topaz in one lockout, or getting two or three like high level gems in one lockout. Then you're going to shoot up to like you know, 500 gold, 600 gold, depending on what part of the phase you're in and how much the gems are worth. So it's a fun little farm though. Like I would definitely go down and do it just for the crack if you're bored. It's a bit of a laugh, you know. But I wouldn't be going. I wouldn't be. There'd be no reason for me to go and do that when I can guarantee to get more money consistently out of the other farms, right? What's your main method of gold farming on Rogue? I've been doing mana tombs. My main method has been SV. I farmed exclusively SV for the first 2 months, 2.5 months. I farmed about 1,000 runs. Then in early June, I went back to Ireland, back to Europe for a few weeks, and I started doing MT then, just because it's quicker. And I was traveling. I had only had one laptop. I didn't have a streaming setup. And then I really enjoyed doing MT. I really like the break from SV. You know, you do get a bit jaded with doing the same thing again and again. And now I've started this versus farm where I just show people the truth about the gold per hour values of both of them. Because there's a lot of Mandies out there, like the Manitombs Andes. There's 25% of the people who took my poll of about 350 people think that Manitombs is worth more gold per hour, and it just technically isn't. But where it is based is if you're working from home and you want to do half an hour farm and half an hour work. There's a lot of lifestyle situations, gaming setups, you know, time schedules that make Manitombs best for people. And they're also two very different farms. And at the end of the day, I've now learned to love both of them for different reasons. We are so lucky as rogues that we can choose to either do the shenanigans, more technical SV, which is less forgiving and a little bit frustrating when you get locks that won't open or scuffy pulls. But it's so satisfying when you pull off those shenanigans moves and you get a chest open and you're making the best gold per hour. It's just so much fun. So my ghetto didn't actually work. You leave the group. Okay. Can I get a countdown up here, please? Mr. Ghetto Hearth Macro. There you go. And Manitombs, although it's a little bit boring and a little bit stale, we are spicing it up at the minute because we want to be the first to kill Tavrock solo. That's what we're trying to do. So we're getting very, very close. That's exactly what we're going to go and do now. We're going to go to Manitombs. We're going to do a run of Manitombs. And at the end of the run, we're going to blow our cooldowns, try and kill him. And then if we kill him, that's great. But if we don't, we'll die. We'll reset in death, run back in. We'll do another Manitombs run. Because we do them so fast, right? We basically got we've got the time to get a Tavrock kill in at the end of the run. And always have our prep up and stuff like that. So it's a great way to bolster the time of the Manitombs so that we get a nice round lockout and we can roll straight into another SV without you guys sitting here bored for 20 minutes because I'm not really doing anything. So it's a great way. It solves that problem. And it's also a really fun challenge for me, and it'll also be top tier content when I kill him. It's gonna be so much fun to do it. I'm gonna be absolutely over the moon. All right, now we get to swap into harp spec. This is the spec I use for Manitombs, and it is so much fun. So much fun. Let's get some deadly poisons first. So while we're creating the poisons harp spec, for anyone who doesn't know, you go into subtlety, you get better stealth, faster stealth, increase range on blind and sap, and reduce cost. This is really cool for openers. It makes the run really smooth. Then we go... Sorry, my bad. Yeah, stealth, stronger stealth, faster stealth, range on blind and sap. You'll see how smooth that is. Ghostly strike because it hits like a truck. We get extra combo points half the time when we use cheap shot. When we dodge or resist something, we get an extra combo point, and we're always using evasion and cloak on our pulls, so we get a lot of extra combo points from this. We get serrated blades for 560 armor pen. We get hemo, that's our new damage dealing ability. We get prep, so we can sprint, vanish, whatever we want again. We get dirty deeds, like dirty tricks. It's all dirty. And we get reduced energy on our cheap shot, which we use on our openers. And we do 20% more damage to targets below 35 health. So once they get down to a third of their health, we start to do 20% more damage. So once they start dying fast. And then we have 10% attack power, which is absolutely insane. The 5 combo point eviscerates that you hit in when you have this, you'll never see a bigger crit from a 5 combo point eviscerate. Not in combat swords, not in any other spec. 10% that extra damage on top of it is insane. And we get the best out of combat. So you can either go full into dodge, or you can take improved gouge if you want to gouge something and get a little bit extra time on a bandage, for example. We get the hit just because we want the extra damage from offhand, and then we get deflection, so we parry and it's defensive, and we also get riposte, which is really, really powerful. 10 energy, 150% weapon damage. It's the hardest hitting single target one button ability, apart from obviously ambush or backstab. If we're using swords or maces, it hits harder than anything else. Harder than Sinister, harder than Ghost to Strike, harder than Hemo. It's huge. Not only does it hit harder than anything else, it only costs 10 energy, and it disarms them for 6 seconds. So it's offensive, defensive, and incredibly efficient. And it pops up a lot because we're usually fighting 2 or 3 guys at the same time. So we're always getting those dink dink parries. And as soon as you hear that, you get your riposte, and it also hits the target when your blade flurry's up. So it's really, really nice. Then we get sword spec, obviously. So we get extra sword swings, blade flurry, we get expertise, and adrenaline rush. It's just the best of both worlds. We melt through packs. Okay, we're in our combat setup. That's good. We're going to put a few things on, but give me a second, because I am going to take just a quick break, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. You can enjoy this lovely photoshopped loading screen that I've created for you guys. There we go, and I'll be right back. And I know there's loads of comments I haven't gotten to, but I will get to them when I get back, I promise. right, we're back. We are back with a vengeance. What's your gold method of choice in Wrath of the Lich King? It's going to be the Karazhan farm, but you can also do a Black Temple farm, I heard. So I've got a level 80 on the servers, so I'm working on gearing him up and recording those videos for the Wrath hype. TY, MT is fun. Yeah, it's hard to stretch the MT runs to 12 minutes. Mine are usually 8. Yeah, it's like 35 minutes at the minute for me. If you wore Shadow Res gear for the first boss, do you think you'd also solo the first boss since he's all shadow damage? I'm not sure. I was thinking about that, but I don't know. Possibly. Harp spec with combat potency versus harp spec with deadliness. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really use my prep in here other than for Tavarok. I mean, it's handy to get an extra sprint, but I don't really use it. You see, the thing about the combat potency is the fights are so short that I don't think we get that much value out of combat potency. Whereas for burst, deadliness is just insane. So I think deadliness beats combat potency for burst because the fights don't last any longer than like, I don't know, 15 seconds, you know, for the packs. So I don't think so. I think this is actually the best. All right, let's go. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do this. Take a drink of that. Let's go. Nice streams, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We need to poison up. We're in the right set. It's not there, so it's going to be Worm or Tomb. And it's Tomb. Huh. Didn't mean to sap him, but whatever. There's that beautiful riposte sound, which we learned to love. We just thank you for the follow. Let me change my scrolling battle text area. Just here is good. I'm always fiddling with my UI. Okay. I actually don't want to use my prep here for the extra sprint because now we're going to be doing Tavarok, so we need that prep so we can get an extra evasion. And it's right there. So we do need to wait for our Blade Flurry to come off cooldown, so we will just rob a few of these. And we didn't even put poisons on. So our 1.3k burst was pretty bad. We got 2 Dark Casters, so we'll sap the healer. Burst them down. Let's put our poisons up first. Legends, you're legends. That's pretty nice timing. What we really want here is when we sap him, we want our coil to proc off the sap. That's bis. Didn't happen, but that's fine. It'll pop up pretty quick here. It should do. There it is. And now we just get to melt. Wow, we killed them both before they got a Shadow Word Pain off. That's nice. Where's the other guy? Did I loot him or no? There he is, boys. There he is. Oh, we're gonna get you. We are gonna get you. It's just a matter of time. Good morning, good evening. Exotech, my man. Exotech is a legend. A legend on the Rose Diary Discord. Anybody has problems with, like, I've been very inactive on it. I'm not sure what the correct word is. Neglecting it. But anyone who has any questions about any of the farms, if they weren't covered in the video or the coverage of it in the video isn't clearly explained to them, Exotech jumps in, makes a little video, sticks it up on YouTube and goes, here, check this out. Like, absolutely legend rogue. And I appreciate you very much, brother. Very, very much. Honestly, at this point, I should just give that Discord to you, to be honest, because you're doing like so much of the good work and showing people how to do stuff. All right, we got a nice, easy Addy. I see you made a specific build for the farm, but since I play a lot of arenas, I need my PvP build. So on MT, I switch between PvE when I need to, nuke down the packs, and then switch back to PvP. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I use Shadow Step between the mobs and move, yeah, even faster, yeah. And I also don't sap anyone. I have a similar to your gear score 1950, first time tuning in, so just sharing some info on the farm, and if you were right, I think the living ruby drops at the start was nuts. Yeah. I think that, I don't know, there's a lot of tinfoil hat theories about gem drops, but I have a feeling that they stimulate the economy by dropping a lot of the nice stuff early. I remember a lot of epics dropping when I was leveling up from Sethek holes onwards. Lots of epics were dropping. I saw like 2 Live Lilies drop. I saw like 4 or 5 epics drop on the road to 70. And now you just don't see them drop at all. And also the gem drop rate from the chests was, I think, 16.5% from my first video, if I remember correctly, which is basically like 1 in 5, just under 1 in 5 chests, which means you get 10 chests in a lockout, which means the average was about 2 gems per lockout. And the most amount of gems I got was Living Ruby and then Noble Topaz, the 2 most valuable gems in the first 100 runs. So I'm not sure. I think they boosted up a bit. Yes, you're right, Pralam. Or that's the way to do it. I used to do it that way, but I make so many mistakes when I'm chatting or focused and not thinking, and I forget to spec swap or swap my gear. And then I open, and harp spec just gives you the best of both. And this is harp and the other one is for SV. So what I do is I just farm all week, and then when it's raid night, I switch from harp into PvE bis, finish the raid because we do all the raids in one night. And then at the end of the raid, I swap back into harp. It costs me 100 gold, but for the week I have like 2 bis setups. But for arena, of course, you can't do that because you gotta be doing arena all the time. So you're a little bit more hemmed in there. All right, we're gonna put Deadly Poison on our offhand here. I'm gonna swap into our belt, and yeah, somebody said, if belt to deep shadow, do you think it's worth using the 4k shield at the start instead of the extra DPS from belt? And he made me double think it, but the 4k shield is like half my health. It's nice to just pop that at the start and then just build up my combo points. Then I can swap the belt out anyway once I pop my macro. So we need Barrow's Peasant Caller in here. Oh, do we have the... We do. That's good. So now we want to swap these around. We want that there. We want, that's fine for a post. That's fine. Medallion, we don't really need that there. We want this, but we want to use this. We want some mudfish. Oh, I need to buy more mudfish. I mean, we'll just go with the 5 runs without it anyway, so it's okay. And we'll do stamina. Ah, we forgot to get Gift of Arthas. I knew I forgot something. Gift of Arthas. We're not using any big cons, but Gift is pretty cheap. And it gives us just an extra, it's like an extra, like 20%. It's like an extra, it's like a Hemo plus. Just an extra 8 damage. And it's flat damage, not physical, so I think it affects our poisons as well. We have free action, that's good. We're going to use that as soon as he goes to cast his first thing. Oh, the other thing was I left it in the bank, but I had this brainwave last night that if we got a Sheen of Zanza, it would automatically reflect the first hostile spell cast on me. Now, it's not worth doing it. Like for the farm, it wouldn't be worth doing it once we get it consistently, but that won't happen for a phase or two anyway. But it would allow us just to get the first kill. I used it last night, but he used Earthquake, which is an AoE ability. It doesn't target me specifically, but his Crystal Prism does. So I think that Sheen will reflect Crystal Prism, but I left it in my bank. So we'll go back and we'll get that at the end of these 5, and then we'll come back in again and we'll try that. I want to test that out. Okay, I think we're good to go here. Yeah, and we're missing Gift of Arthas as well, but whatever. Let's just go. Oh yeah, we want Sun Fury Bow. Good, because we don't need the hit from Steam Pistol. Because it's 20 agi, but the hit is basically worthless against him. But Sun Fury gives us 20 and 19 agi and 34 AP, so it's actually best for this. All right, we're gonna go this. Ah.
Stun incoming.
Okay, we did. It's annoying. So we didn't. We managed to. We missed the Crystal Prism though. That's a problem. So this is we're obviously going to die here. But what we did there was we popped the Barrow Peasant Cooler. Oh wait. Yeah, the swap didn't work either. It didn't swap out our belt and it didn't swap out our trinket. That's a problem. Let's have a look at the macro. Because it worked before. Okay, Masterwork Targeting Dummy, Barrow's Peasant Caller, Cast Vanish, Equip Slot, Belt of Deep Shadow, Equip Slot 14, Medallion of the Horde. But it didn't work. Anyway, it worked before. I don't know why it's not working now. So now we reset and we'll just go and do a normal farm again. Ah, I didn't appreciate you and all the rogues in the community. Always happy to help, brother. You're a legend. You're a legend. I forgot to reset this, so we'll have to minus the last calculate the gold per hour that we got from SV out of this when we finish our 5 runs to get the gold per hour. But no big deal. Hi, I also did pickpocketing these runs and sometimes there are gems inside. Yeah. You can do that. It's just the drop rate's very low and gems aren't worth that much. And it's a lot of extra work. I'd rather use the time to try and kill Tavarok. It's more exciting. And even when I wasn't killing Tavarok, I was just like, I kind of stopped doing it. I did start doing it again there a little while ago just to bolster out the runs. How's the farm going? Bend the lat, my man. We just did a 5 SV and we got a pretty low, it was like 275 gold, something like that. But we're trying to kill Tavarok again, and we're getting closer and closer. So we will get there. How about investing? So I just watched, there's a guy, Guide MMO. I like his videos. He's been around for a while, and he just released a new video. And he was saying investing in void crystals. That's what he's doing at the moment, because in the next phase, or maybe it's phase 4 or 5, you get a new enchanting recipe, I suppose, that allows you to turn void spheres into LPS, large prismatic shards. So void spheres are currently worth, or selling for, let me switch this around. Void chatter, here we go. Void crystal, 20 gold, and you get 2 out of them, and they're worth 20 gold, so you double your money basically, which is pretty insane. Let's do that. Put that. I should really have healed up a bit. Oh, I got a mortal strike. I'm actually going to die here. Wow. Yeah, note to self, heal up before you run into a pack. That was just an amateur move. What do you suggest farming gold for a somewhat fresh level 70 warrior for the first kite for fast flying? I go into Sholomance and kill all the packs in... You go into Sholomance, you go down the stairs, there's the first, it's like a room, but it's actually like a platform you're on, and there's 3 big skeleton guards. Instead of rushing forward through the guards, you actually jump off the edge, and you jump on a ledge at the bottom room. And if you jump down at the right spot, you won't pull any of the mobs there. Then you run up into the big room, and you kill all the necromancers and the shadow, and the summoners. Necromancers and summoners. Those are the mobs that can drop the dark runes. You kill all those packs, then you move through that room to the big room that's next to it as if you're going out of the dungeon, and you kill all the necromancers and summoners. Then you go up and reset, and it's about 12 minutes. And on a good run, you can get 400 to 500 gold per hour if you get a good lockout. On a bad run, you're down to like between 50 gold and 100 gold. So the peaks and troughs are quite drastic, but it's a solid farm. It's what my co-GM does. He's an absolute legend of the game. He knows so much about the game. And that's the farm he's running on his warrior. That's how he makes his money. So I would do the Sholo farm. And if you don't know how to do it, just go on YouTube, type in WoW TBC warrior Sholo farm, and you should find a video. I'm sure somebody's made one. Can't swap in combat. Yeah, well, technically, when you vanish, if you use the target dummy and the Barov's Peasant Caller, you have combat pets out. And when you have combat pets out, when you vanish, even though you go into stealth and you're technically out of combat for certain things, you're still in combat by the mob, because when he kills the combat pets, he'll come running for you even though you're in stealth. So using these shenanigans, you could trinket swap and even gear swap in Classic. But in TBC, they made some changes, but we did get it to work in here once yesterday, so I don't know what has changed, but I need to get it to work again. Unless I made a mistake and it switched out. It's still there. It should work. Maybe I just need to, instead of clicking it once, maybe I need to spam the macro, like click it twice. Use at cursor, masterwork, barrow of peasant caller, cast vanish, equip slot 6, belt of deep shadow, equip slot 14, medallion of the horde. Let's change that to, I think we're going to get more value out of this one, spyglass. because we've actually macroed spyglass into our use spyglass at hidden fleet, use heavy now that we bandage. So we've got it macroed here, which means we get the bandage and we get the 1.3k heal from spyglass. That's the idea with that. So we can get ourselves up to a reasonable amount of health while he's killing those combat pets before he comes around to us. Okay. Hello, Kareem Benzema. Ah, you're back from yesterday. I still don't know who that is, but I'll take it as a compliment. Void crystals, void spheres are being created right now for mother gear sets. That's why they're more expensive now. Right. Because Guide MMO was buying them when they were at 5 gold, right? So that's we're kind of late on that one. Now, if they do drop down again to 5 gold, that'd be a great buy. Where's my kidney? Oh. This is the only annoying thing about the Tavrock farm. I keep switching around my things so that my stuns aren't there when I need them. Let's get kidney back on the bars. Disaster. Yeah, this is pure rookie maneuvers here. Forgive me, rogues. If I've been killed by something more than anything else, it's been swapping between different things, whether it's swapping between a different spec and forgetting to do it, or forgetting to swap into different gear set. Like when you're doing the NG pulls in SV, for example, if I've done a combat pull before, I forget to swap back into my NG set, then I do an NG pull but I don't have boots or belt, and I get killed. And now for Tavarok, it's action bar swapping, which is getting me killed. So I'm really bad at remembering to do the thing in between the main things I'm doing. Actually, the LPS price will crash, won't stay at 20, so beware. Might still get a return, but not what you expect. Why will it crash, Bendalet? I thought LPS were the things that continue to go up in the economy like scrolls. They just continue creeping. Like at the start as well of the phase, everyone gets the season gear, right? So they want to enchant that. They're going to need LPS, and we get the new gear from the raids. So people are going to want to enchant that, so we need LPS. I was under the impression that they were going to spike by a lot, like maybe up to 25 gold. But if you know something I don't, please tell me why they might crash. That would be... I do trust your market knowledge for sure. Does your macro pop belt when and then swap belt? No, I pop the belt as soon as I pull the boss. I open with Garrote and I pop the belt, and it gives me 4k of it's 4k of a shield that I don't have to worry about using my evasion. It just gives me extra survivability at the start, and then I get maximum value out of the belt, and then it should swap when I do the macro so that I get back into DPS gear. You can't gear swap in combat, only weapons. But we did get it to work. You see, it's the vanish trick with the combat pets. Cheers, thanks. Beats mindlessly going for motes of fire. Exactly. I'm talking about before you get in combat. Well, I'm just saying it looks like that belt macro put you in combat, not letting you swap. Belt macro. It wasn't a macro. That's literally just the icon for the belt that I put on the bar there. Just so I can, because I've got so many things on my bar, I just click that one with my... That's literally just the belt. If it was a macro, it would, when I put the belt over it, I would get the icon pop up on my cursor to put somewhere because it was a different target or something. You know what I mean? When you equip Spyglass, it wouldn't initiate. Yes, you're right. You're right. Thank you. So many things to try and keep track of. I always miss stuff like that. Appreciate you. Yeah, it will. So I should equip something that will be able to be instantly used or provide instant value. So what are we going to equip that's going to provide instant value? None of them really. They're all going to have a 30-second cooldown. Yeah, for Romulos, but I don't need to hit. I suppose it'd be better than nothing, really. 36 stamina. I don't think I get that stamina unless I'm at health cap, do I? It will just add on an extra gap of health at the end that I don't have. I think you need that on at the start. That would give me 72 AP flat. That would give me extra damage. Badge would give me 308 armor. It's probably Romulo's, right? Probably Romulo's. LPS is expensive because nobody runs dungeons to disenchant. Void Crystal split 1 in 2 LPS will flood the market. By the time Sunwell is out, guild banks will have thousands of Void Crystals. Ah, of course, yeah. Loading screen simulator. Yeah, you said it, brother. Mate, how long do you think you'll hold the Adamantite Corium until you sell? I don't actually know. I don't actually know how long I'm going to hold it. It was Bendelat who put me on to holding the Fel Iron bars for Wrath because you need 70 Fel Iron bars to level through the TBC version of enchanting. If you go onto like wowprofessions.com, you need 30 Adamantite bars and you need 70 Fel Iron bars. And of course, this is obvious as soon as somebody says it to you, but it was Bendelat who put it in the chat. He was like, everybody's going NG. I was like, yeah, I knew that. But then he's like, nobody's going to be farming in TBC during Wrath, and people will get up to 70 and then want to level NG, and there'll be very few Fel Iron bars in the market. So if you have a lot of Fel Iron bars ready to go, you're going to make a lot of money. And that made sense to me. So I will keep them there and I'll use them for myself to level JC. Or, oh, sorry, no. Again, Ben Delac came in with information saying don't bother using those to level JC, just buy the gems because they'll be worthless at that point and you get them for nothing. So won't need it to level JC. So I'll just keep the Fel Iron to sell in Wrath. I think we'll eat this guy. And the Addy I'll probably sell in the phase when JC has those two really good items, right? Hardcore Band and Hardcore Choker. Everybody will be respecing into JC then. And they'll probably go up. And if not, I can just hold them till Wrath again. They just sit there. But I'm definitely not selling them now since they're worth very little. And I don't need the gold. So 72 flat AP would be best. Yeah, probably. I was saying I don't need the hit, but then I'm thinking he's level 66, I'm level 70. The hit cap is 363 against level 73 raid bosses, so it's probably in the early 300s. And I have 210. So actually, I might need the hit. I think I'm probably still yellow hit capped against him because I've got the belt, right? Maybe I'll put Steam Pistol back in, actually. 229. Look how much hit we get from Belt of Deep Shadow. 229, 263. That's 34 hit just from that belt. And then the food. What else are we missing? Yeah, we're really hit starved in this. That's rich. In that case, we'll sap the leader. Ah, I know why I wasn't doing any damage to those packs. It's like I'm not doing much damage because I'm in my Tavarok set, not my BIS PvE set. That's why. That makes more sense. How is your server not down? I don't know. I don't play any. I don't play on US. I'm playing on EU servers, but I'm in China. So the local time is the server time is 4:30 p.m. It's Desiderata, bro. I got 2x Living Ruby today. I screamed. Nice. Hold on to them. Hold on to them. I think they're going to spike a little bit at the start of phase 3. I got a Corium. Nice. Oh, the servers are up. What professions? Mining plus NG, brother. Wait, why do Sims say to do Delicate Living Ruby, but folks are still pushing Rigid Dawnstones, even on Belt to Deep Shadow? It's because the hit cap for Horde is 316, and you can't actually get to that, even in full BIS. You can't get to that. If you put just hit items in to try and make it to the cap, the other stats on the items wouldn't be worth what you getting hit. You'd lose DPS, basically. Ah. So, anytime I sim gems, yellows hit are worth. People say hit and agi red and yellow are worth the same DPS, but whenever I sim, hit comes out just a smidgen ahead, and they're way cheaper. So it's better to just stack all yellows until you hit the hit cap and then start stacking red. That's a better way to do it. Now, if you're somebody who likes the PvE and PvP, then you should definitely... Oh, we got a Living Ruby. Lovely. Out of a Corium. Haven't had one of those in a while. We love that. We love that. Oh, we're going back to kill Tavarok. Let's go this way. Back up to 91. Okay, they're starting to creep up. They were down at 80. Interesting. I never saw your server go down. Wow, I just saw the insane prices on free action potions. Yeah. They're a little bit pricey. Yeah, EU, exactly. Jackpot indeed. Jackpot indeed. We love to see a Living Ruby. I've got 7 in the bank and 1 in this bag now. I'm saving them for phase 3. I think they're going to spike up because we're going to get a lot of new gear, and we're going to get a lot of... Well, now that I know that you can buy the season gear, the PvP gear, tomorrow, people are going to buy that, and then they're going to want to gem it. So gems are probably going to spike up a little bit now. That's probably why they're up to 91. Again, that colds or something. Now, it's focus up time. Oh, I could use the rocket boots as well. It's gonna be less DPS, but I get the I can use the burst with the sprint to get even more, to get even further away from him. The only problem is last time I sprinted to the bone pile, when he ran over, he pulled these guys with him. But if I pull him right into this corner, then when I vanish, I can sprint and boots around the corner, create even more distance. Then I'll get more of a heal off. That's probably best. Let's do that. And we still get 80 AP out of these. They're still good. 80 AP versus, what do we get here? 44 plus the Agi gives us 31, which is, or let's call it 32, which is 76. We don't need the hit. And we get 5 agility, which is 5 AP. So it's 80 AP. It's the same AP. We do have cat swiftness on these, so we get 6 extra AP. We get extra dodge, and we get a little extra crit. So it beats us on those minor, those other Agi substats. But it's very similar in terms of this farm because we don't need the hit. That's what makes Edgewalkers so good as well. It's got the hit rating, gem socket bonus, as well as the slots. But since they're socketed mainly with hit, we're not losing that much value. Let's do that. We've got those, sure. Let's save this. Now we need to make a little macro. Or we just use this macro. Cast sprint, cast, use rocket boots. Stamina, mudfish. Maybe the swap happened because when we were testing this macro, we did a couple of different versions of it. We did Barrow's Peasant Caller and vanished, but he reset every time we just had the Peasant Caller out. Then we swapped over to the Masterwork targeting dummy and Barrow's, and when we vanished then, he didn't drop combat. So Barrow's on its own doesn't seem to work. Or if it does, it's because you need a little bit of extra time for them to be in, for him to aggro or recognize them as threats. Maybe when they spawn in, they need like, I don't know, 100, 200 MS for them to actually start pulling threat. Whereas the target dummy is like straight away. I don't know. That could be it. You have 120k or you spent it overall? No, I don't have 100. I have 10k. And I've probably got another, I don't know, 5k in other stuff. Something like that. Maybe not 5k, but something. And I spent the rest on just ridiculous shit. 4 blink strikes, blah, 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 blah. I have 4 gigantic bags as well, which I got very early on, which I'm super happy with. Okay, so we need to put this here. And then we don't do that. I've learned my lesson from yesterday. I wasted so many of those things. All right, let's go.
Stun incoming.
Oh, we forgot to swap our gouge from this one. Oh, that's so bad. But he didn't actually do that much damage to us. That's kind of nice. Interesting. I think we still had the, see, it doesn't tell us when that's about to happen. This is the big problem with this. We don't see the Crystal Prism cast. It just randomly happens. This is really annoying. It makes it super RNG. Like we got him down to, I think it was 20, in the late 20s percentage one time. And we did that without having figured out this new shenanigans thing. Anyway, we'll reset, go again, and do them at the end again. It's very RNG. But again, we're not killing them for consistency here or adding him to the farm just yet. If we can, that will happen in later phases. But what we really need to figure out is how to how to know when he's going to cast Crystal Prism. Because if we do that, then we can put our... And I forgot to swap free action potion to my gouge, so I hit gouge when he... When he did the first one, I hit gouge, but it didn't do that. It didn't actually take us down that far. And if I had a hit free action, I would have had free action up for 30 seconds, then the Crystal Prison wouldn't have happened. So that was actually a consequence of forgetting to swap out. Again, the same thing that gets me killed all the time. Hey brother, hit 57, almost an outland. Dude, Spec Lone Star, you're an absolute monster. You were like, what, level 1 4 days ago? Is that right? You started your rogue like 4 days ago? 4 or 5 days ago? And you're like 57? Brother. Congrats on the speed leveling. That's insane. Took your advice on running MT on 2 accounts with 30 at 30 minutes each with 5 lockouts on both. Got 9 rubies. Holy cattle. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, and 2 accounts double MT back to back, 10 runs in an hour can't be beaten for gold per hour. That's insane. I was considering doing that because I have a second account. I haven't resubbed it, but I have a second account with a rogue on it. But it would make for very, very boring content. I don't need the money, so I'd rather do both SV and MT. But yeah, big money. More like 8 days, but thanks. Yeah. Still, that's really nice going. Time flies when you're having fun, I suppose. Loading screens are insane. I just got a 7-day stream streak with you, so it makes sense. How come that didn't pop up on my thing? I want to see those kinds of things. I'll need to fiddle with my Twitch. So I can see those and say thank you. But I'll say thank you now. You're a legend. 7-day stream streak. Unbelievable. I've been going for about 2 weeks now since I started doing it again after like a 2-month break. So we're growing strong, and 7-day streak, brother. Thank you. Yeah, get yourself up. You're on my server as well, aren't you? Or is that somebody else? No, you're on Dreamsite. Look at the amount of people. Vibrant, fresh, healthy servers. What's up, King Glux first here. Hope you had a good day, brother. This guy in the chat here, Ors CV, has ranked number 1 in the world on Prince in phase 2. An absolute demon. We were raiding together a couple of weeks ago, and he very kindly agreed to expose for me, and I managed to get a 99 LR with his help, so much appreciated. Absolute banger player. And I'm hoping to get a super sweaty Parsi Karazhan in with him at some point. Let me check actually when I'm raiding this week, because the raid comps should be up. Let me see. I mean, we've got like 5 years until they let me into the dungeon anyway, so we might as well have a little look-see. All right, Wednesday. Okay, I'm raiding on Wednesday. Confirmed. Okay, cool. I'm the only rogue, so I will be exposing, but that's okay. Let's swap this. Man, so much swappage. Things we do to try and kill Tabarok, lads. Things we do. There we go. I'll double check with the guys if we can go on Friday. Cool, nice one. Yeah, so I'm raiding Wednesday, so yeah, Friday will be BIS because I'm obviously finished training for the week, and Friday evening is like 2 a.m. or whatever. Like 8 p.m. is EU time, is 2 a.m. Eastern China time. But I don't have to worry about being up in the morning or training the next day, so Friday would be absolutely perfect. Yo, where's our chest? Or did I not reset it? I'm an idiot. I didn't reset it. I think we can use prep now because we're 10 minutes. Sure. Yeah, but also Gluck, no mad rush. You know, it's just, you know, it's not a huge deal, but it would just be something I'd love to do, to go in with like super sweaty pumpers and try to parse as hard as I can, because I don't have very good logs for Kara. It'll be a lot of fun. What am I doing? I'm resetting the dungeon. Focus, focus, focus. But it's, you know, it's not a big thing, so whenever it happens, it happens. You know, it could be this week, could be in a month, could be in 2 months, whatever. You know, it's all good. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. You're. How did that happen? Ah, for phase two, because we're still in phase two. Right, 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 right. Of course. And you were using Mark of the Champion. Right, right, right. Yeah, you're ranked number 2 now on Prince. He beat you by 85 DPS. Ah, that's a shame. Just before the end of the phase as well. Mate, if that's the case, maybe you want to try and pump and get a better. Maybe you want to try and get the rank 1 spot back. So maybe you want to do the Karazans as the pumper rogue, and maybe I'll expose for you. We could do that too. Then I get to feel out the group, the tempo, and whatever shenanigans or parsing strats we're using, because it'll be new enough to me, and I can kind of try to learn that as I'm exposing for you. We could do that too. Only problem is that we need 2 hunters for the comp, and my guild only has 2 hunters. Ah, so you need both of them to agree to do it, basically. I get you. Mate, these loading screens are brutal. Blizzard, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? I guess you can expose on Prince and I do expose on everything else. That makes sense. That works, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. In that case, I'll actually swap both of my specs and I'll have an BIS PV swords with expose for Prince, and the second spec will be BIS PV swords without expose, just to get that extra poison damage in. Um, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I think the Manitomb's transfer aborted instance not found. The bugs with this new update a couple of weeks ago are insane. That's better. There we go. That. Oh yeah, and look, the US already has the season 2 gear on the vendor, and we're gonna get it tomorrow. And the offhand is only 300 arena points, so I have 800, so I'll be able to buy the offhand tomorrow, and I didn't have to do any extra arenas, so that's really nice. Super happy about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really cool. The guys in the chat were telling me they've already got. You got almost 4K. Yeah, nice, nice. You have to buy whatever you want, and I'm hoping it would make sense that we'll be able to go to the vendor and I can trade in these 4 tokens for. Yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. These 4 tokens for the PvP season 2 gear, which I'm gonna immediately equip with Delicate Living Rubies, and that should help us out on Tavarok here, trying to get him down. Not even gonna bother. I'm still in the Tavarok set. Got the belt and the boots on. That's why my pump is so bad. All right, straight away. So we got a minute. So we're gonna pick. I haven't got a gem from a pocket or a lockbox in a long, long time, and we still want to get Nightblade, so that we can have gotten both epics this time around. That would be the dream, to get the Nightblade out of a lockbox at some point. Super healer, we'll take that all day. Huh. Gotta wait for these to get a little bit over, so we might as well sap again and see if we can get the proc from Warp Spring Coil. There it is. Start off with 1,560 armor pen. Why can't I use my bandage? Why can't I use my bandage? Am I still have a cooldown. 10 seconds, that's fine. I could blind him when he's in sap. Let's do this. Hey Rogue Friend, hey Cloud Friend. How you doing? The cats emojis I like. The second one especially. It's lols. We'll get the PvP gloves as well for the council boss. Okay, so you can use the deadly throw thing to silence on one of the council bosses. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Do I have the gloves? I do. Sweet. Sweet. So I would have got them anyway. Alright, perfect. But aren't they the same as the season 1 ones? Just better stats? Like if you got season 1 you could do it as well. They're just better versions of them. Close your deadly throw to interrupt spellcasting and prevent any spell in that school for 3 seconds. Yeah, same, but they're just better. They've just got better stats, right. Yeah, the PvP boots, level 60 PvP boots, though, they give you an extra 3 seconds on your sprint, are really, really nice for certain things. If any of you don't know about that or forgot about it or whatever, in Classic, you can go and buy these now as well. And they're actually really nice for... Increases the duration of your sprint by 3 seconds. And they still work now. Which can be... They can be best for certain things that you need. If you need extra sprint. Or you don't need the DPS, like in here, for example, for getting through and clearing mana tombs out quicker. 3 seconds is a lot. 15 seconds, that's 20% extra sprint time. It's pretty big. And you can't really use them in Steam Vault because you need your NG boots up. However, now I don't like gear swapping because I'm really bad at remembering to do it. But for those of you who are a little bit more like on the ball without those kinds of things, when you're in SV, after you've done your NG pull, for example, and you're getting one of the chests on the top platform, and maybe you want to do the new meta pull because it's unlocked, or maybe you could even get 2 cracks if it's locked if you have those boots, because you get an extra 3 seconds on sprint. So if you have those equipped, you pull the 4-pack or the 3-pack on chest 6 or 7, down into the back. Then you blind, gouge, shiv, cripple, and then sprint back with those boots on, and then step to the crab as well and keep sprinting. You might be able to get 2 cracks off, which those boots could actually push that technique into the meta even for locked chests. So I should probably get my hands on those boots and try that at some point. This is the thing, like every time there's a new innovation on something, you have to consider all of the old tips and tricks because as soon as you think about something, it's like, oh, now I can apply everything you had before. You can now be freshly applied to something when a new like strat comes up, and then it can push it even further, which is really, it's a lot of fun. There's something very exciting about this kind of stuff, farming and developing and stuff. All right, let's focus up. I'm not going to forget this time. "26 seconds. Okay, so we're going to use the boots this time. We're going to burst out so we get it longer, more value out of our bandage. And we're going to, once we vanish, we're just going to click vanish like 2 or 3 times to see if we can get that swap in. Now, they did swap before, but it could have been the case that they swapped on a pull where I used the Barov's trinket and the fight actually reset. And I mistakenly assumed that it worked, even though technically I was out of combat, whereas I wouldn't have been if I had used the target dummy, for example. So I could have made a mistake, and it may still not work, but I think it works. I think it works. What's our macro for Peasant Caller, Vanish, Deep Shadow, and Brooch? Okay. Let's get a Stamina Scroll. We're out of Mudfish, which isn't great, and we're out of Arthas, which isn't great. But again, we're going to go back and get Sheen of Zanza as well to reflect his first attempt to reflect his first Crystal Prism once our free action runs out next time. So we'll do that. I think we're good to go here. Keep an eye on our combo points because we get them when we dodge like that. And our belt, there we go. So now we evasion. We should have put that into a slice of dice, to be honest. See, there's no way of, mate, that's so annoying.
Stun incoming.
There's no way of seeing the Crystal Prison. We really, really need a cast bar, even if it's like 0.25 a second. We can still get that. But when there's no cast bar on Crystal Prison, it's a nightmare. All right, we go again. I mean, compared to yesterday, those of you that were watching yesterday, we were getting so much, like, we were getting him down to like 30% on most of the attempts. And this time we're just getting Crystal Prisoned, like, straight away. Am I using nameplates? Let me take off this weak aura, actually. In case. Maybe it's interfering. Maybe it overrides the cast bar that he would naturally have from Blizzard's UI. But because the weak aura isn't actually working properly, it just like removes the cast bar. That could be an issue. I'm okay so far. How about you? I'm pretty good. We had a half day today at 3 o'clock. I had to go down to the visa center with 2 of the people from the school here to extend my visa. So we have a visa now, an X2 visa in China until February 7th. So that's just nicely taken care of. And then it was one of the guys here, a young gun. He's turned 18 today at the academy. So just had a little got dropped off, had a little dinner with him, with a little bit of cake. It was so funny, like, it's a couple of like local Chinese guys in there, like 4 or 5 of them, and they're like drunk as a skunk, you know, and they got the t-shirts up and the bellies out, and they're inside the restaurant, but they're in like a little back room, and there's 3 big tables full of all the students from the Kung Fu Academy, and the master, the Shifu, the Shaolin master, is there at the table, and the coaches are there, and then there's all of us gang, ranging from late teens to like There's people here who are up into their 50s, you know. And one of the Chinese guys who's drunk and like he's kind of being loud and aggressive, he has his t-shirt off and he walks into the room that we're in, and he's kind of being loud and aggressive and a little bit drunk. And he walks into the room and he turns as if somebody's like thrown like a pebble at him. But it was the Shifu, the Shaolin master, was just looking at him with this intense gaze, and he didn't see him looking at him. But when he turned around, he looked straight at the Shifu. So it was almost like he like death stared him, and like he felt this presence. And he turned around and looked, and he saw the Shaolin master there, and the Shaolin master was just looking at him in such a way where the guy just looked at him and went, "Oh," and just turned around and just went like straight back into the room. It was the most Jedi fucking thing I've ever seen. It was so fucking funny. No, we did it again, gang. This is what we kept doing yesterday. We would forget to swap. We would forget to swap our normal vanish macro. And we just waste a dummy, and we have to wait 10 minutes then for our. Why isn't that? Come on, game. I know. I know. Take the VODs of each kill and then run vid through AI to get exact average time to make it WA timer. Yeah. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. We could at least get a window of time where it was most likely to happen, and then we could pop our FAP just at the start of that window, and then we have 30 seconds of clearance. But this is the Achilles heel of this boss. It's if we knew exactly when he was going to cast, or at least we had a cast bar, like we would have killed him by now. It's this not knowing that's really the difficult part. Let's swap back into like our actual gear. No. That could have been what happened. When I got back to him, I could have checked my gear and saw that I had my boots on, or had some other thing on that I had from the start of the pull, but then seen that Deep Shadow and whatever trinket I'd swapped in from the macro was still on, and then forgotten that we'd actually fat fingered our macro at the start of the run, and it had swapped them in then, and we forgot about that and assumed that it had worked because they were on from the last pull when we vanished, if you get me. Although we didn't vanish in the last pull, but you know what I mean. $3,583 crit from I think it was a 4 combo point eviscerate as well. That's the power of deadliness. It's right there. Of course it is. Oh shit. Do I not have prep? Disasters. I need to find a safe spot in this dungeon, actually. Like, legitimately. Yeah, you never pick pockets without prep or vanish, because that happens. And I didn't check. I'm too frazzled, boys. Too many things at the same time. I apologize for this absolutely monkey behavior happening here. How many lockouts have we done? 4. Okay, let's just do our last lockout and just give Tavarok one more try, even though we're out of gift and whatnot. And then we'll bang over to SV and we'll do 5 more SVs. And then it's going to be kind of late then. It'll be about 12 then. But what I'll do then is I will come back. I will go to the bank. I will get Sheen of Zanza. I'll get Sheen of Zanza and I'll take those Gift of Arthas out of the bank. And I'll take out some Mudfish. And we'll go in fully prepped against Tavarok and we'll go for gold. We'll try and nail him. The Sheen is big. The Sheen is big because we can see his Earthquake. There's a cast bar for that. So we can free action that one. And then the beauty is once the free action falls off, I'm pretty sure that if we have free action up and he tries to... Nice. If we have free action up and he tries to Crystal Prison us, that free action will block it before it can get through to use up the Sheen, if you know what I mean. But once free action falls off, the next Crystal Prism should get reflected by Sheen. That's the idea anyway. That was the epiphany I had last night. We could use Sheen of Zanza to reflect it. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. It's just a shame. What we really want is to be able to... Oh, we got that chest. What we really want is to be able to kill him without using any of these cons. I mean, we could use like Flask of Relentless Assault, but we're not going to be spending 70 gold on a flask to kill him. We want to be doing it with minimal cons, or at least cons that don't cost that much. That's kind of the dream. Maybe try and get some Priest and Palabos for one run. I could do, but I want to... I think I can do it. I feel like we can definitely do it without them. Sheen is cheating, but because I thought of it, and it's like, it's a little bit shenanigans, and it's old stuff that we're reusing, and I kind of like, I'm willing to use that just because it's a good idea, and if it works, we'll be able to show that it works on this boss as well. Like there's some value there. But the Priest and Palabos, it's like, if I can do it without those, I'd rather. Like, it's a solid idea if I do just want to come in and try to kill him. But if that were the case, if I was going to use those buffs, then I'd just go and get, like, you know... Winterfall Firewater probably wouldn't be too bad either. It's so cheap. That's for the confidence boost for the first kill, then slowly remove stuff. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Coming for you. I am coming for you. Big chunk of rock will fall. Keep my prep. Okay, 274 was what we pulled out of SV. So we just need to minus that from our gold total here. And we'll get our gold total for these runs. This is still run 4 though, so we got to finish this one and then do run 5. World first skinning knife to have a rock kill. Yeah. The old skinning knife. I was bitterly disappointed when I discovered in solo self-found that skinning knife couldn't be used as a main hand weapon to use combo generating abilities. It won't let you. It still says you need a weapon in the main hand. So it's not actually counted as a weapon. Even though it does damage and you can do white hit attacks with it, you can't actually use your rogue abilities with it. It won't let you. I'm just going to blitz through. You know what? I'm going to blitz through, reset, get the 5th run done, and then we'll come back and we'll try and get that Tab Rock kill. Menez Lol 18, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Smashing it. I thought we were almost at 500 followers, but we're actually at like almost at 500, but we're actually almost at 600. So that was a nice surprise earlier on. And there's another one. Falafels. Hope I'm not butchering that. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Oh, we're going to get season 2 tomorrow. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Reset, reset, reset. You're at 501 gold. Minus 74 is 326. It's 571, 501.73, so it's actually 378 if we round up. No, 278. I suck at math. But we're only on run 4, so that's alright. We got one more full run. Is it a worm chest? I feel like it's going to be a worm chest. Oh, it's a tomb chest. Okay. My spidey sense is broken. Straight away with a riposte. I love that. I love when it dings straight away. We can just pull this guy in here. Scroll of Strength 5, lovely. If we just get Strength and Agi out of chest, like we're happy. We're happy. The odd LPS, we're good. And a gem, it's just like a cherry on top. I know it says 4, but this is actually our 5th run. Second rogue on different account with full S2 gear now, running mining and herb, but want to drop herb. What do you think I should run as a second profession? My alt is enchanting and my main rogue is JC and NG. You have 2 accounts with 2 rogues. If you want to maximize your gold per hour, the best gold per hour that you can possibly get with 2 rogues is to have 2 rogues, both with mining. Come in here on one of them, get both of the chests, both of the mines, 30 minutes. Then log your second rogue and do the same. You won't beat the gold per hour any other way with rogue than that. It'll be absolutely insane because like that's BIS. That's BIS. 100. But if you don't want to do that, you're running mining and herb but want to drop herb. Engineering is always good because you have access to belt and boots and they're really good for just various different things. And then you'll have a second rogue with engineering going into Wrath, and you're definitely going to want to have engineering on your second rogue in Wrath because it's just Wrath engineering is, there are no words to describe how powerful it is. The boots just the rocket boots alone, it's like the best of the classic version of the boots and the best of the TBC version. It moves you really quickly and it lasts an awful long time. And then you get the hyperspeed accelerators to give you extra haste on your gloves. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, and you have you have a portable mailbox. You have Jeeves repair. You've got the Gnomish army knife, which is a zap throttle mode extractor, and it's also this one, the Goblin NG cables, and it's also a thieves tool. It combines like a load of different things into one. And there's like probably a dozen other really cool things you can do with engineering. And I can't wait to get back into the NG list because there's always value to be found in engineering. Like the frost grenades, for example, that I'm using for the SV farm. There was kind of no real use for these. I mean, there wasn't much of a market for them. There was no use for them. I had always seen these and looked at them and said, a 5-second stun is insane. You can get an awful lot of time out of those. At some point, it would be nice to be able to use them for something. Now, you can do the SV NG pulls with a Fell Iron Bomb or an Adamantite Grenade, but they only stun for 3 seconds. And the Frosty stun for 5, so they're just better. There are a couple of chests, one at least, where having the extra 2 seconds is going to give you an extra crack at the chest, whereas with the Fell Bombs, you're not going to get that second crack. They're going to be back at the chest. They're going to be out of stun and coming back to the chest 2 seconds faster, and it's just not enough time to get two attempts at it. So I use frost grenades for the Striders and SSC. Oh, wow. I didn't know you could use that. I didn't know you could use them for that. Thank you so much. That's insane. That is insane. Don't forget to prime sub, Samwise Gamgee. Legend. Plug in it for me. And Casa, in your opinion, which is better? I'll give you first. Mongoose Season 2 sword or Latros? What do you mean? Season 2 offhand? Could you reframe the question? Or be a little bit more specific? I'm not 100% sure what you mean. They do resist sometimes. Sure, yeah. But still, that's really, really nice. Locking those Striders in. And you've got all the time in the world because that phase between her opening phase and then when she comes back out at the end to kill her, you can get probably two minute cooldowns on grenades out of that. So you can probably use 2 of them in that window. So the main gold income is from prospecting the ore you get from the dungeon. No, I never prospect. No. The income is from just selling the raw ore and selling the enchanting materials. And the gems are just a little cherry on top sometimes. But about 80% of the farm, I would say. Probably more, 80 or 85% of the farm. Maybe even 90. It's just from Agi 5, Scroll 5, enchanting dust, enchanting materials you get from the greens and blues. Raw gold from the chests, selling the bars or selling the ores. I never sell bars, I just sell ores. Because the time it takes me to smelt all the ores is time I could be in the dungeon and it's worth more gold per hour. It'll take me 5 minutes to go and smelt the ores and come back. And 5 minutes is like half a run. And if I'm getting 400 gold per hour, divide that by 5 is 80 gold. And then half that, it's like 40 gold. So in the time it takes me to do half a run, say 5 minutes, because they're like 10-minute runs-ish, I need to make 80 gold or more profit from smelting the ore into bars in order to justify using that time on smelting rather than being back in the dungeon farming. Because the window of time I have outside of lockout is so small because I need to log over to my enchanting alt and sell stuff. So it's like the old saying, it's not worth my time. However, you can, I suppose. I have when I've had downtime or I'm going to take a shower, I have been saving my ore up. So you're right in a sense. I haven't just done it periodically at the end of every run and sell the bars, but I have been stacking my ores. And then when I had all these ores here, I was like, let me half this because they stack in 20 for the ores, but you need 2 for a bar, so you can half your bank space. So I needed to do that. So I just took these and like had whatever, you know, I've got 637 bars. So I had 1,274 ore. So I just hit smelt all and then went for a shower and raised my kids that I don't have and took the girlfriend that I don't have out for dinner and then came back and I was still smelting. So yeah, you can do it like that as well. But no, it's just from the ores and stuff, mainly. All right, let me fix my stuff. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that there. Put that there. I'm going to put that one there. We need our... Okay, we have that there. That's good. That's good. So yeah, between lockouts, I don't do any of that smelting stuff, but I have just been storing though. And so you're right, I have actually smelted them and turned them all into bars, but just to save space, really. I don't prospect. $26. That must be on. What's that 26 seconds for then? Oh, it's for Vanish, right. Alright, last attempt at Tavarok for these 5 runs, then we'll go into SV. We don't even have any food. This is bad. Let's do... I think once the countdown timer comes off, we just hit our FAP anyway. I think that's what we do. There we go. Oh, we forgot to do the boots, right? Fuck's sake.
Stun incoming.
We did Earthquake, so that's... Oh, we did get out away from that, so that's good. The macro didn't work, though. Ah, fuck you, Crystal Prism. We're gonna get him at some point. We're gonna get him at some point. But not right now. If we had our Sheen up, if we had our Sheen of Zanza up, and it reflected, it would have reflected that one there. And we maybe would have had a shot at getting him down. Maybe. Okay, let's go back. We're going to do 5 SV. Let's throw this stuff over to the priest. Holy shit, we're at almost 200 viewers. That's crazy. Wow, wow, wow. Let me take a moment to thank each and every one of you. This is insane. Super, super happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody who's just lurking, chatting, watching, following, all that good stuff. I appreciate you very, very much. We got loads more content lined up for Wrath and Classic Plus and TBC and Era and all that good stuff. Agi, no. Protection will send over. Ruby will send. Boots, yeah. Power. I know why we didn't kill him. We didn't put the mask up. That was the problem. We didn't respect the Tavarok and put up our bandit mask. That was the issue. Agi, yada yada yada. There's another sneaky green in there. Let's use our lockpick macro. Just get these 2 boxes open. And I need to repair. Come on, the Nightblade. Not today. 545 gold, okay. I seek Havarok's demise, but I'll settle for some poisons. Uh, 54580, let's round it up to 546. 546 minus 274 was 272. So let's add that to our gold per hour total. 272 plus 278 is 550. Okay. Then MT 295 is our average gold per hour from 25 lockouts. Multiply that by the number of lockouts, 7,375 gold plus what did I say? 278. 7,653 gold from mana tombs in the last like 16 days or so. Divide that by the new lockout number, 26. 294.34, rounding down to 294. So we lost 1 gold per hour. Let's put that back up there. We'll reset that at phase 3 anyway, so it's just for this phase. All right, SV gold per hour is 386 on average for over the last 2.5 weeks, and MT is 291. They both would have been higher if I had started this at the start of the phase, because the gems peaked up and rubies were at 135 gold at one point in this phase. This is the last 2.5 weeks, which is just the last stretch of the phase, so the price of everything has gone down on this server. So if we had have been doing this from the start of the phase, I reckon SV would be still up at 400 and MT would be up at 300 at least. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll start it anyway fresh from next. So that's all good. Right, now we've done that, let's log over. No, let's get the stuff out of the bank that we need first. Move our macros around. Oh yeah, I'll get to the I see there's a lot of comments I haven't responded to. I'll get to them now in 2 seconds. Let's get that sheen. Let's get that gift. Good. Fuse wiring. We can put that back. We can put that back. We need those. Strength. It's fine. Rugged leather can go back. I think we want to keep everything else in our bags. And then I'll get to the chat. We got everything for SV that we need. Yeah, we got Frosties, free action, swim speed. That's fine. Let's swap our spec. And yoink. I mean, having a season 2 main hand sword and Latro's offhand, which one do you think I should put Mongoose on first? That's a pretty good question, actually. It's normalized. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Zargos, is that copying cargoes or that's actually you cargoes? Do you have an end goal of farm gold or just getting it as high as you can? Yeah, I'm just doing the farm for the farm's sake. You know, it's a really good gold farm. Not a lot of people think that SV is that good. It's much, much better than MT. Developing the farm, pushing it beyond what people had thought was capable at the start of this expansion was really fun. And it's a good way to just like grow the channel. It's decent content. It's fun to do both of them and compare them. This 25% of the poll said that they thought Mana Tombs are still better gold per hour, which it isn't. So it's nice to just show like what is actually true. But I've learned to love Mana Tombs. I've fallen in love with it. I love Harp Spec as well. I've just absolutely fallen in love with that too. That's why I sent them to him. for God's sake. Let me send them back to bacon. What does a priest need poisons for? Come on. Get to France. I'll bank. I mean, I'm pretty much banking everything at this stage, aren't I? Ah, so confusing. Too many things. Let's just turn them into dust. Take it from there. Swag. Do you have any? Yeah, okay. You mentioned training. What do you do? Part of your job? Sorry, I'm new here. No problem. Suzerainty. About actually, no, it's 4 weeks ago in 2 days. I moved to China and I live in the Kunyu Mountains at a Kung Fu Academy. And I'm training Kung Fu here for the next 6 months. And then I'll go from this school to a different school down south to train under Master Gu, who's a Wing Chun master that I actually came here to train under, but he actually left in March, but they didn't say anything on the website. So I came here, paid my money, and I was like, all right, when do I get to train under Master Gu? And they're like, oh no, he's not here anymore. It's like, what? Ah, shit. Anyway, the training is still kicking the shit out of me, and I'm still super unfit. So the 6 months here will do me well. So I get up at about 7. Breakfast is at 7:30. Then we have to clean the academy, sweeping and cleaning the windows and all that kind of good stuff. Then we start training at 8:50 and we train until 11. We do running, stretching, acrobatics, front flips, back flips. We do forms, we do sparring, kicking, punching, striking. We do power training and strength and conditioning training. Then that's just split across the whole week in different, sections of time. At 11 o'clock we stop, and then we have lunch at 12, and then we go back to training at 3, and we train until 4:50. And then at 4:50 there's an optional class you can take if you want, which is generally like a cultural class, so Chinese, Mandarin, Chinese calligraphy, acupuncture, massage, things like that if you want. But they're a little bit like, they're not great. Those classes aren't great. They're not that involved. And if you were really into those things and you wanted to take notes and you were serious and you asked the right questions, like, you could definitely learn a lot. But just as like standalone classes that to be interesting, it's like, they don't float my boat anyway. Then we have dinner at 6 p.m. and then you're off for the evening, and that's when I stream. And in the afternoon I do videos, like I finish the video editing for whatever I'm making, or try to squeeze in one of the many tasks I have to do with. So I have the training dream, getting fitter and stronger, and training in Kung Fu, becoming more flexible. And I have the streaming dream, which is to pursue my dream of being a classic WoW content creator for classic TBC Wrath, the classic canon, and for classic plus. I want to be like the #1 rogue shenanigans and gold farming rogue content creator for classic plus. That's my niche at the moment. But I'm also a pretty good PvE rogue, so we'll fold some of that stuff into it as well. I stream my raids once a week as well. I'll be raiding on Wednesday. If any of you guys want to tune in, I'll be raiding at 8:30 p.m. server time EU, which is 2:30 p.m. here in China, which is brutal. And then I raid until 5 a.m. So I have to sleep a little bit beforehand. Otherwise, like, it's just brutal. You have to get up then and do like pretty hardcore training. So, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm not as young as I used to be. So it's pretty taxing on the body. Zane, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Let me sell these bits. Sell all that stuff. Were you able to take down the thick Rocky Boy solo? I had to go to the kitchen. Not yet. He crystal prismed us, but we did our 5 runs, and now I want to go and do some SV. And we'll do our 5 runs of SV just to change it up a bit, because it gets a bit stale to keep doing the same thing. Then we're going to come back, and because I won't be able to do another lockout, we're just going to go in with Sheena Zanzia, and we're just going to attempt Tavarok a couple of times. Then I'm going to call it a night, and tomorrow we'll be back on doing the exact same thing. What day is the day? It's It's Tuesday. Tomorrow night we have raid. So what I'll probably do is I'll have my dinner and then I'll do a little bit of streaming, probably a couple of hours, and then I'll probably nap for like 2 or 3 hours, then get back up and raid. So we'll be back to do some more Tavarok. But like every night, Monday to Friday, we're going to be attempting to kill Tavarok. So he will fall. He will fall. Don't you worry. And if you do miss it, excuse me, don't worry, because I'll certainly be taking that VOD down and turning it into a video. For shits and giggles, as they say. You want my UI? Never. Walter. Never. You'll never have my UI. It'll be a downloadable package and it'll be $1 billion for my UI. $1 billion. You were able to, yeah. Any news on the haze potions? Oh, I sold them all. No new. I don't care after that. Even if they don't get it implemented, it's like whatever. I sold them. It's done. But yeah, they're all gone. They're all gone. Thank God. I'm minus 4 gold per pot right now. Oh, well, I'm glad I sold mine. I bought them for between 1450 and 1550. I bought 1150. And so about 15 gold on average. And I sold a good chunk of them at like at 14.99. I sold like a batch of probably 100-ish. And then I sold the next maybe 300 at like between 14.15 and 30, somewhere between 14 and 14.50. And then I sold the rest of them, probably the majority of them, I'd say 50 or 60% of them, at 13.99 and 13.50. So I'd say all in, I probably, on average, I bought them all for 15 gold, and I think on average I sold them all for 14. So I lost about $1 grand or $1.5 grand, something like that. But I got back like 15,000 gold. So if they had a halved in price and had it waited, it would have been 16,000 gold down to or 17,000 gold down to, I would have lost 8,500, and I only lost 1,500. So I'm a happy camper. Wow, that's a cool experience. How many foreigners are in those classes? They're almost all foreigners. There's a couple of young Chinese guys. There's a couple of young Chinese kids. There's 3 little girls and a boy, but they're just here at the end of summer, kind of training, and with their parents. I think their mother is here or something as well. And then there's like a couple of Chinese teenagers, maybe 3 of them. And there's 2 Chinese adults. And there's about 55 students, I think, in total in the academy. So probably like less than 10 of them are Chinese, and the majority of the rest of them are Westerners. So it's Americans, Czechoslovakians, Irish, French, Italian, and the age ranges are like early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, early 50s. And there isn't anybody, I don't think there's anybody like that's older than like early 50s. So it's a nice mix of people, and they're nice. Like it's a good vibe. Everybody's here to get fit and healthy, and all of those people clearly have the spirit of adventure in them, because they travel to the other side of the world to go and live at a place and learn kung fu. So they all have some character, which is nice. So it's a cool place to be, and you want to see where I am, the view. There's a big mountain up there. We're in a national park. There's pine trees everywhere, and in the academy itself, there's like pencil pines all over the place and bamboo. It's like right up in the mountains. It's absolutely insane. It's really, really beautiful. Somebody wants me to help him summon? Sure. Did you do any martial arts before this? I did about 6 months of intensive taekwondo training in Hanoi for 6 months. And I did that 5 days a week. And to warm up, you would do 1,000 kicks just to warm up. So that gave me some fundamentals for kicking, which Although I've lost most of my ability and flexibility from that, that was like 7 years ago. I still have the fundamentals down of chambering the kick, twisting the hip, turning on the ball of your foot, extending the leg. It's all there. The basics are there. So I'm improving back. I'm getting back to where I was before, which is nice. Much better than a spring chicken. Leaf armor and moat fire and hellfire. Do you think about those monks? Do you think those monks think about it like some kind of a Disneyland they have to work in to entertain people? There's definitely some of that, and it does have a summer campy vibe. But something I've learned since I was here is that it's very easy to be cynical, and I think it's better to be cynical than naive. Like when you're a child and a teenager, you're very naive, and as you move through your teenage years, when you're a child, you're totally naive. You don't know about the shadow of the world. You don't really know about evil. You're innocent as fuck. And then when you come into your teenage years, you start learning about the human shadow and the dark side of people. And that's why teenagers are so fascinated with horror movies, right? Because it's the shadow and it's the fear in your own heart and in your own soul and in your own head. And it's in the other person as well. And the monsters are really behind the eyes of everybody else and in yourself. So you start to go through that introduction to shadow. And as a result of that, you become cynical and critical of the world and of yourself and of other people. And that's healthy because you need to be critical and cynical so that you don't get into a car with strangers. So it's actually a healthy response. But at a certain point, it turns into a self-defeating cynicism where everything you look at can be viewed through the lens of cynicism. You think everything... This is why the word scam is so popular now amongst young people on the internet. Because it's like, oh, it's a scam, that's a scam. Because it's such an easy way to claim that something isn't trustworthy. And it's also a way to vicariously through that context, say to people, I'm not a fool and you can't fool me, which is what people are inherently saying and implying when they say things are a scam. But when you grow up and mature a little bit beyond that, you realize that saying everything is a scam is just a defense mechanism that's based in fear because you don't actually know how to differentiate between a scam and something that's actually not a scam. So it's easier to just say that to kind of protect yourself. So what am I getting at? When I got here first, there was a lot of criticism about the school and cynicism around the fact that Master Gu had left. The spirit of the school and the spirit of different things in the school had fallen away, and different disciplinary actions and fundamental structure and appreciation, respect amongst the community toward teachers and how things worked had shifted because the school's now in a state of change, and people were cynical about that. And when I first arrived, I kind of got I was a little bit sensitive to that cynicism, and I let it get to me for about a night until I realized I am here in this absolutely magical place pursuing a dream, and it doesn't matter that these things that people say are affecting them negatively, because I'm still really unfit, and everything I can do here is going to make me stronger and better and faster. So I'm just going to embrace this experience and make the most of everything about it. And once I realized the truth in what I was saying, the cynicism and criticisms of other people around me just kind of washed over me, and I didn't let it enter my heart because I was like, that's their opinion and stuff. And I agree, you can agree with those opinions without adopting them. You can support the way people feel and their emotional responses and say, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks that you can't do this anymore, without adopting it as part of your own identity. And there's something very freeing in that, because you realize you've got this like nigh vulnerability built up, for negative emotional responses to the world. And it no longer, you don't have to get sucked into it. So that was pretty cool. So in answer to your question, yes, I'm sure that monks think about it like that often. And I think that the students at the school also think about some of the coaches that, oh, we're just doing the same basics over and over again and that kind of stuff. And so for every subcontext within the overall context of the Kung Fu experience here at the school, there will always be points that you can look at and find a cynical frame or something to criticize or laugh about. But within each of those contexts, there's also the light side and the really positive thing that you can focus on as well. And so it's a nice for me to reflect on the growth that I've made as an individual, to be able to move through this experience in a way where I can appreciate and be grateful for everything I have, while still being able to respect the criticisms that other people have, even though I don't share them. Okay, rant over. I take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, Chibi. That's a very thoughtful answer. Thanks. You're very welcome. I appreciate the question. It gave me the time to reflect on it, and it gave me the time to reflect on it. All right, let's go. Yo, thank you very much. F Moye for the follow. Appreciate you. Come on, loading screen. I think it's actually a little bit shorter in SV. Maybe. That's my hunch. Back to the pods now because the battery is about to die. On the big hammers. Well, I retract my statement about it being faster in SV. It's Classic Plus is going to be out by the time I get into this dungeon, I think. $47. I did kind of make a decision today where I said I wasn't going to allow WoW to affect my training as much as it has been because I've been pushing the streams out like an hour beyond what I should and then getting 6 hours sleep, and I've been feeling it in the morning. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one run. Just going to do one run in SV and then I'm going to call it a night, and I'll be back on tomorrow. I have been prioritizing the stream and WoW over training. And I need to just wind that back a bit. It's like 60-40 at the moment. I need to bring it back to 50-50. And sleep patterns are a big part of that. Getting enough rest. Good man. Thank you, Jim Bob Panda, for supporting my proper decision making, my responsible decision making. One run, 12 midnight, that's fine. And then a good night's sleep. You know what? That's twice I've been aborted. I'm actually going to call it now. And we'll be here sitting at SV ready to go tomorrow when I log on. Thank you everybody for joining the stream. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm streaming Monday to Friday for whatever 4 to 5 hours from ending at around this time every night and starting 4 hours before. We're doing mainly gold farming. We're going to try and kill Tavarok. I'm going to be raiding tomorrow night at 8:30 server time. So if you guys want to tune in and see me pumping in SV, TK, and Gruul, that'd be awesome. We're currently 3 items away from full bis, and we're going to get one of them tomorrow. That's going to be exciting. We're going to get the Season 2 offhand tomorrow. We're going to enchant it with Mongoose, And then all we need is DST and Belt of 100 deaths. So we could, in theory, get full BIS tomorrow, which would be absolutely banger. That would be insane. So we'll see. We did lose DST. It dropped last week. And we lost on a 16 roll to like 5 other people in our guild. So that stung a little bit. Yeah, more content coming soon. I will be adding different things to the stream. I'm just getting used to streaming again and back up and running. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the Twitch Prime subs. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for lurking and joining. Big respect to each and every one of you. And I will see you tomorrow.